Boom, boom. Thursday night, Tuesday night. Yeah, man, I think that might have actually been part of the discussion. Actually, that would actually make a lot of sense why Plagued Earth was concerned about what time Eddie was coming in, is if they think they're coming in at the same time. And I'd be happy to do that because let's fucking face it, having those two dudes in at the same time would be fantastic. Would be fantastic.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. You take it. I've been talking.
Man. I don't know what's been going on. So we were just starting to chat. You said you're snowed in over there. We're not snowed in. We don't get snow per se. It's been a little bit rainy. Just a couple days here and there. It's been dry for the last few, but you said you're snowed in.
It's things are just kind of closed down today. Big storm. Big old storm warning. Yeah. But not going to go into details. It's been a surreal as fuck week, and normally Toyz Alive Thursdays are maybe the highlight, but I'm really sorry, dudes. There's been some other highlights this week, so I'm just really stoked. Yeah. I'm really stoked to be here with y'all. But I would like to thank my family, the academy. Just feels good, man. It's been a very nice week, to be honest with you. It's been a very nice week. So the snowed in was welcomed today. I took a mental health.
Nice. Yes. Very nice. So when you say snowed in, does that mean you're inside at all times? You're not going out?
You're not. It's not smart to go out. Yeah, it'd be stupid to go out. Things start closing. Schools, of course, once the schools start closing and people start closing, the roads start closing. A lot of we had 40, I believe, streetcars just straight up like weren't doing their routes today. Once that happens, like so many people commute here. You shut down 40 fucking streetcars. It's just not happening, man. People start being like, hey, I'm not going into work.
Yeah, and works like whatever, that's cool. Yeah.
That's kind of the beauty of it, is we all kind of recognize once that happens, there's not really a fucking point in risking going out. A lot of the times it's even actually like, we'll shut things down if it seems like later in the afternoon no one can get home. There's no reason for people to be trying to risk driving home later or being like stuck at the offices and filling up the subways and shit.
Yeah.
If you know it's going to be a shit show later on in the afternoon, just don't bother.
Yeah.
But you guys have rain over there. This isn't talking Toys at all.
Yeah. We got a little rain a few days ago. Nothing big. It's just, it's cold. That's about it. Dude, look at everybody. Death and Strawberries, Jazz Wizzy, Zimit Co., The General, Yuckamuck. What's up, gents? Big show tonight, man. Holy smokes, dude.
Really big show.
You know what I realized, dude, in the post, and I don't know if people saw the post get posted twice today. I was talking to Brett about this earlier, and he said that it's happened to him before too, where the text doesn't come out, dude. And a good thing you said something about it, because I didn't even notice that the story wasn't on there.
I have two theories. I have two theories based on trial and error that I've noticed based on doing this. Sometimes if I'm on my PC, while I've also got my phone up, it doesn't want to post the PC typed up version if I post it there. It's almost like it's like, no, you can't be on two devices. The other thing I've noticed is every now and then you'll exceed the character limit, but it won't tell you you've exceeded the character limit, and it'll just eat all of your shit. So I've gotten in a habit of copying everything before I post it. Yo, I love that, dude. Cool Mo P just hopped in there. The fact that like you guys know Cool Mo P, Cool Mo P knows you guys. I just love it, dude. Thank you guys for chiming in. I know we're just off in our own little world here. We're having some kind of fucking like Regis and Kelly moment over here, but I appreciate you guys are just hopping in, chiming in.
It's your mug. It's your New York skyline mug, is what it is. Does Cool Mo P have an Instagram account? Or did you say no?
No. He hates the way Instagram works so much that he refuses to have an Instagram account. And that's, if anything, man, I think that's what I love so much. Like, this dude doesn't have an IG. He doesn't follow these toys beyond coming into the Toys Alive accounts and watching this shit that we end up posting. And yet, he knows the homies in the chat. The homies in the chat know him. I was so stoked to see him get that Lego sword, man. I haven't even had a chance to feel it and sniff it yet. It's just been a busy fucking week.
Yeah, nice. That's a great piece, dude. Yeah. If you haven't seen that yet, you're gonna be like, holy shit, when you see that. Uncle Spank in the house.
Oh.
My man, I saw the Zimico piece. I think I sent that to you and said, looky here, man, that's very cool. Nice grab on that. That's a sick, I believe it was 1,001 headed ape.
Yeah,
correct?
it was. If anything, I'm not gonna lie, Uncle Spank and I were chatting the other day, and he shared that with me actually. And I was fortunate enough to see it right away. I was like, "Is that the one headed ape?" Because that thing's fucking famous at this point, dude. And you have an absurdly stupid sized Zymat piece to send out to the world today.
I do. I'm gonna have to put you on hold for like 5 seconds. I just
Dude,
it's not in here. It's in the freaking room where I took a picture of it. But dude, insane. So not only is it 6 inches tall, I think solid resin. Here's the other thing about Zimico that I've been thinking about since he told me this the other day is why did I think that they were in LA? They are not in LA, they're in New York, which makes it even crazier that they went from New York to LA for Designer Con. One, made the trip in general. Two, went there with bags and bags and bags full of pieces, dude. Like just that, getting from New York to LA with a bunch of bags, what a royal pain in the ass that must have been. I will not check baggage. It will take a lot for me to check baggage. I've checked baggage one time in the last, I don't know how many years. And it was this last time I went to Decon because I needed another bag to bring all my shit home.
Zymat even said, yeah, no kidding, overdid it. You couldn't have possibly known, man. You have so much work to try and limit out what you would have been able to bring would have been so difficult. And you know what?
Yeah.
If anything, having that many pieces, I bet it was really great branding. Whether you sold every piece that you brought or not, to see it was a spectacle, dude. From sitting from home and seeing that booth.
Think about this. You've seen their pieces, right? And you've seen a lot of their new resin pieces. And the way that they're made, the shapes of them, right? Sometimes we have lots of long, thin resin pieces, dude. Can you imagine trying to pack all of those across country and make sure that they did not get broken? Good Lord, man. They deserve an award just for even attempting that, dude. No volume.
So in my opinion, Zymico owns some pigs, man. Once you own pigs, like you'll take on fucking anything, dude. there's very little as fucking infuriating and frustrating. So broke 6 or 7.
Yeah. What's up, man? I just saw Fletch in here. Right on. Fletch took advantage of the 51% off sale, as did I. I should have some stuff here shortly, which is very cool. Only broke 6 to 7. That's amazing. There was, I don't know how many pieces you guys brought, but there had to been several hundred. Easy. I'm gonna go grab that piece 1 second.
Please do. Absolutely. Go grab that piece, man. Yeah, man. Zimico. Every single thing you can possibly think of. Jigglers, fucking plastics, glow plastics, chalkwares, mini little necklace pieces. Mr. Ordinary, homie, good to see you. That new piece you popped out, I can't remember the exact name of it at this moment. I'm really sorry, dude. The legs came out dope, dude. I know you were a little bit concerned about that. Loving those little fucking dinosaur feet that are on there. Curve Floss PowerPoint decon presentation. I couldn't imagine doing that from the other side of the country. Yeah, I feel you, man. There was a lot of people that ended up coming from a lot of different places. I know a lot of folks were able to send pieces off to like Dove Kelmer, fucking Fletch, who's in the room here. That definitely makes it easier when you're able to ship off a couple things. I think Zymat Co. though actually did post. They had something like 3 or 5 full-size carry-on bags they ended up bringing in originally. Insane. Where the toys are, what is going on? Dudes, I don't know what is. Well, I can't wait to hug you guys one of these days.
Dude.
Fucking like fuck.
So what's up, Brent? Dude, I need to get a hold of you, Brent, because after all of that I was at the store the other day, after all that stuff, there's probably 5 more things, dude, that I forgot. I just totally left my head when I got there, so I need to hit you up and get a few things.
Hey,
dude, Brent, that was. Go ahead.
Which one's the lighter haired gentleman?
Brent.
I want to fucking kiss that dude.
Dude, he's so.
I don't know why.
I'm walking down the street, right? I told him that I was going there on Tuesday, I'm walking down, down the street and around the corner, because the parking there's fucked. He knows that. And so I'm parking around the corner. And as I'm walking, I'm looking at my phone doing the live, right? And then I see the little icon pop up that where the Toys R is also doing a live. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then he walks out and he's walking towards me and he's doing a live. And so we're like walking towards each other doing the live, which I thought was very cool. And then when I was in the store, God, dude, I must have been in the store for probably at least 15 minutes. The audio dropped on the feed and people started saying, hey, the audio dropped. So I had to stop and then I had to throw that video away, which I realized afterward it had all that good shit at the beginning. And so I started from in the store. I like walked out of the store, then walked back into the store. But that was very cool, man. And actually I was talking to Brent and I think we are going to, perfect. He said, just let him know. Awesome. So yeah, dude, we're gonna do that again sometime. It's Super 7 has 2 stores right now in San Francisco and San Diego. San Francisco kind of being the flagship store. And there's a lot of people that are into that stuff, dude, that just never get to see the inside of those places. And they're super cool, man. It is like, it's crazy. If you're into reaction figures, you go in there and it's like, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is I oftentimes am right out of the loop on those toys. To see some of the figures that have been recreated is really nice, man.
Dude, the lines that the licenses that they're getting are insane. The clothes that they have there are insane. It's just dope, dude. It is a really, really fun store. They have this stuff up in the store that says, nobody was making the toys that we liked when we were kids, and so we made them. And that's exactly what it is, dude. And it's just like, fuck, man, My Pet Monster. You know what I mean? Like, how many of us were into that?
I'm probably gonna sound stupid, but there will absolutely be individuals just like us that they feel this way about Super 7 figures. James B, what is going on? I was talking about you today, dude.
Speaking of Super 7, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just had to say this while James B was in here. He picked up a Misfits, the Worst Ultimate at Super 7, which was a super good deal. And that'll be going out to him probably tomorrow. But that was dope, man. Also, just sitting on the shelf, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, it's just sitting there. Like, you want to buy.
That's a good grab. Good grab. Good grab.
It's just sitting there. Like, here I am. Well, coming home.
Von Fake Name. I don't know if you follow Von Fake Name at this point. I don't know, those of you who don't follow Von Fake Name, it is some of the humblest content that I personally have on my IG. It is some of my favorite content to take in on IG. I will say it till the day I fucking die. I don't know what it is. Some of you are comfortable posting about family shit in your stories from time to time. I understand some of you are not. No criticism. Totally get it. Us lonely motherfuckers, and I mean this in the least creepy way possible, is very wholesome as fuck, and it's just very nice to see sometimes that side of you guys.
Yeah, great dude, man. Reached out while I was in the store. I was more than happy to grab that figure for him, dude. But you're right, very wholesome account. Very much reminds me of Babadrock a little bit. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, man, what a rad dude. He'd probably be a super cool dude to hang out with. But yeah, also a fellow Canadian. How about that?
You know, that caught me right off guard. I did not expect that whatsoever, actually. I don't know why, but they seem a little bit, and I mean this in the best way possible, unhinged with a smile. And so therefore, yeah, it makes sense they're Canadian.
Yeah.
Yes. Kumo P dropped it in the chat, and what a fucking dude.
I was just gonna say that. Yes, I was just gonna say that. Good call. Cool Mopey, good call.
That chat is switched over to live.
I'm gonna back up real quick. The Toys R Us said we're gonna do a co-live from the Toys R Us pop-up. Have out there, I believe it's in the Macy's, in one of the Macy's out there, but it's super dude. So Brent's telling me that there's this Toys R Us pop-up there that you walk in, and he said it feels just like an old school Toys R Us, which I cannot wait to see. If we do a co-live from there, that would be super sick. But the Target's in San Francisco, man. I don't know if anybody knows about the MOT, the He-Man Wave 2, that whole fucking story. If you know anything about that, they're not here out here. They're starting to be a little bit, but the ones in San Francisco, the Targets there, apparently are loaded up with them, man. So he did drop that knowledge on me the other day, which I'm very, very excited about. Thank you again for that, Brent. Carolina Cool Cat in the house. Monster Vat in the house. Whew.
Quite a few Canadians entering the toy scene actually this past year, if I can be honest, man. It tickles my fancy. I like it. I love seeing some of the fucking Maple Blood get out there.
Dude, I mean, well, shit. Okay, so yeah, let's talk about that real quick, right? The guys that you've seen that have come on the scene, but then guys that are already there, established guys, dude. Magoob, Lab Monkey #9, Toxic Fumes. I mean, legends.
If I can be completely honest, in my brain, when I think of even like starting toys, and especially as a Canadian, it's Toyronto that really opened my eyes to basically like the dudes in Ontario that were making toys right off the hop. And that meant Think Outside the Toy Box, Toxic Fumes Toys, Magoob, Lab Monkey #9. And you mentioned 3 of those dudes. Think Outside the Toy Box in my brain still is one of the ones that was like making toys before we really were into making toys. But those 3 other ones you just mentioned, dude, and Angry Beast. We got to make sure we get Angry Beast.
And Angry Beast,
one
right?
Of the founders of Toronto as well. Those dudes, I think what's so impressive about it is not only that they were doing it, but they've also helped so many other artists through things like Toyronto, through things like sharing knowledge over to Porpoise, and so many other people in the community, right?
Well, and you and I have talked too, just kind of about Canada and the way that they kind of view the arts in general there. And it seems like there's a lot more support for the arts up there than there is here. Now, I mean, I live in Northern California, so I don't see a whole lot of that, you know. It may be prevalent in other parts of the country. I don't see, you know, the stuff that you and I were talking about. I don't know, maybe it's here somewhere, but I've just never heard anything like that out here.
Lorian, what up? Yeah, here we have what's known as, especially in Ontario as well. There's Canadian-wide ones as well, but in Ontario we have what's called the Ontario Arts Council of Ontario, and they basically do grants and shit. And yeah, so it's the OAC. They can give grants anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 depending on the project that you're doing. A lot of them are just like for arts shit. A lot of Americans come here to film stuff because we do give so many grants and funding that basically if they hire X amount of Canadians and do the filming here, they can actually apply for certain grants. Yeah, we do acknowledge it's just it's important, man. I will say when I first moved down to Toronto, coming from a town that has like 5 galleries, but I never once felt part of an art community, just coming here and being able to walk down the street and see fucking art everywhere. It probably kept me sane that first like 2 weeks moving down here, to be able to just leave the house and just see art just fucking everywhere. It was like,
man. I remember seeing some posts or some stories where you're just kind of snapping photos of stuff that looks like it's just on the way, dude. And you know, I don't know if I really have anything out like that out here where it's all kind of condensed like that, unless you were just to kind of walk through San Francisco certain parts. You would see a lot of cool shit. You know, you'd see a lot of cool shit in Berkeley and Oakland. You'd see a lot of cool shit. But then it's kind of few and far between, man. It's just not prevalent as much as it is there is what it looks like to me. But anyways,
I'm also fortunate. Peter actually has been in Toronto for about 8 years now. So like, for instance, even we have this thing called Nuit Blanche here, and I probably would have completely missed it. It's basically a like art hop that ends up being like all the galleries are open up almost all night. You can basically pop in there, check that out. People are playing music on the streets. It's just a huge like art crawl, basically. And he just showed up one day being like, yo, we're going, dragged me out there. And it's like, oh shit, okay. And then, yeah, you know, Toys Alive one day we'll have a big old stretch there. Why not?
Yeah. Pimo says art's pretty cool.
Chrysosaurus Rex, man. It's nice seeing you in here again. I really appreciated you chiming in. It was lovely to see that you ended up getting one of those Lego swords. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for joining again. It's too
Um,
expensive in the Bay Area. What artist can afford to live here? Yeah, no shit.
bro. Oh, Crystal Sword. I did not know that you were out here in the Bay Area as well. Yes. Yes. You're right. It's just it's crazy, isn't it? Isn't it just it's stupid. It's stupid crazy. Anyways, there was a comment that they made though. It's amazing Toys R Us didn't do a pop-up in one of the abandoned Toys R Us storefronts.
Too logical.
I swear some things are so like in front of our face and obvious sometimes that we don't put two and two together until you see a comment like that and you're just like, yeah, well, no shit. A Chrysosaurus, that's we are one in the same. Work in SF, live in the East Bay. We are one in the same.
No, nobody should have to go to SF.
Oh goodness. I don't know how often they go to SF. I go there a couple times a week, and I can kind of pick and choose. It's a grind. It is.
You made me terrified of SF. I'll go anywhere in the state. Send me as fucking far south as you want. I'm not going to SF.
It's rough, man. You know what's crazy is there are good parts of SF that are what you see, you know, on TV and on postcards and stuff like that. But you know, the majority is not like that, I would say. And it's just to get to. It's a bitch to get out of, and to live there. Good luck. Good luck.
Like Fletch grabbed some steals this past week. Went down to Oakland.
Yes.
Got some Skinner bottles.
Yes.
Skinner bottles.
Yeah. If you saw that any of his thread of Skinner's thread, it was basically just like a little booth at a brewery, I believe is what it was. And yeah, he had those bottles out there. Those things are super sick. He had a few things out there. Yeah, that's dope, man. That's a nice pickups.
So Street Fighter SPDX, I've got to. I'm so sorry, guys. I usually try not to touch this, but it's because the reptilian bases are located in the old Toys R Us stores. So, gosh, damn it. Nobody's going to ever want to hear Crumbs talk ever again. I'm going to go there for a quick second. I'm going to talk as fast as I possibly can so that none of you possibly remember what the fuck I'm talking about. But in my opinion, everybody actually thinks the reptilians are actually the shapeshifter overlords or the bad guys. I don't think they're the bad guys. I think the Greys are actually the bad guys. They're controlling the media, trying to trick you into thinking that the reptilians are actually the fucking bad guys. The reptilian shapeshifter overlords are actually here to try and save us because they were driving by one day and they went, the fuck is going on here? A gray breeding planet? No way. So they can't just actually like incite like galactic war and shit, but yeah, they're here to actually warn us that we're enslaved by Greys. That's it. You want to talk more about weird fucking alien shit later? We can, but yeah, don't blame the reptilians. They're the good guys.
No, I knew all that. I was letting you go. I knew all that. Common knowledge.
There's nothing to know there. I'm just insane.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's interesting.
I mean, if we look back at warfare, right? What do the bad guys usually do? They try and convince you that the heroes are actually the enemy. They can't let you know that they're good guys. So yes.
Yeah.
They're not bad at warning us. Dude, you're just not watching the right films. Watch what is it there? Fucking They Live. Watch They Live. And you let me tell me if the reptilians are not trying to fucking subtly let us know that aliens exist and they're enslaving us.
You done? you want to say any more?
Watch Stargate SG-1 too.
All right. Oh man. Palpatine Gray.
Palpatine was a Gray. now you get it.
I like how Street Fight's like, hey man, I was kidding. Oh boy.
Put the pitchforks down. Oh, dude.
Man.
So we barely talked toys this fucking episode.
We haven't. So we got Eddie coming on at soon.
Yeah, okay. So now you need to satiate my desire to know. Is Eddie coming in with Plagued Earth? I see iPad 3, which I believe might be Plagued Earth.
Eddie's coming in at 11 o'clock your time.
So in half an hour. I'm excited for that.
And I left that first hour so we could kind of get through all this bullshit.
That's what I kind of figured. We'd get through all the bullshit in this first hour, and then that way,
and then we'll talk that.
Join.
Yeah, and then we'll talk to Eddie for a minute, and then we'll bring Drew in and talk to him, and we'll talk about that show, dude, that I'm super juiced about. You know what's funny? Everybody is being very hush-hush about that show. Have you noticed that?
They are being very hush-hush about that show. I think everybody's got their fucking face down to the grind. That's the only reason why, man. The deadline is fast approaching. 3 days is the beginning. I love it. You know what? I'm gonna say it too. I don't give a fuck. I'm kind of stoked. This might be the most prevalent I've seen the Hanukkah presents in my existence this year.
Yeah.
Rocket dudes. Fucking rocket dudes.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see that. Maybe that's corny and lame as shit, but like this might be like in all the histories of Decembers. I'm loving it. Yeah, Fletch, no shit, dude. I'm suffering from chronic fatigue syndrome. I'm gonna, I don't want to touch that one on here, but I'm happy to chat anytime in the DMs, man, because yes, I would absolutely believe that you're probably fucking exhausted, dude.
Full circle, I just got the Super 7 They Live figs. Yes, those are dope. Fletch sleepy. Me and Hurt were talking, and we are like, what's a word you would use to describe Fletch? And we said it's sleepy. He's sleepy, which is cool.
I think we even talked about this before. The stupidest medical term that I've ever heard in my life is extreme daytime sleepiness. If someone could replace that for one of the descriptions of like the main symptom of narcolepsy, that'd be dope, please, because it sounds so stupid. Extreme daytime sleepiness. I'm tired too. Yo, fuck yourself.
Oh man. So next week we might as well get that out of the way real quick. Next week's going to be a really good show.
Yeah, because we'll have the toys have dropped. At that point, we'll be able to really dive into the Hanukkah show, I feel.
Yeah, well, and that's going to be, so that date is going to be what, the 22nd. So we're a couple days before Christmas. We got a lot of stuff to give away next week, which is rad.
I want to bring it up every single episode because we're going to forget if we don't. Every single human who wants to come and chill with us, let us know. That last episode of the year, the year-end episode on the 29th, we're going to do a big old Brady Bunch style. You're all welcome to come in, hang out, bring some cocoa, bring some good cheer, and just fucking chill. Bring in the new year.
Bring in the new year. That's right. I got some weird box up on my screen. There it goes. I don't know what it is, dude. I hit something.
See, we're both clearly off in another world here. I am throwing names into the fucking wheel of death.
There we go. Oh, okay, cool. To the into the giveaway. Yeah, so dude, the giveaway right here. This is, like I said, this is solid resin. This thing is a monster beast. You saw the glow on it. What I put on it was I think I had the picture that I took was with a black light shining down on it, which gives you like one look. But then it does glow too, and it glows hard. But just the pour on it alone, it was hard to get a good picture of it. But man, it's like a white and a brown and a green and a purple. Super cool. But like I said, man, to the tip of the fingers right here, it's about 6 inches. And it's just, fuck, it's a monster, dude. Really cool piece. And let me tell you something, dude. So I walked up to their booth and I'm just kind of looking around. And
show the bottom of that. That shit gets me so tickled pink. Yeah, that's what's up, dogs. The old Andy special.
Yep. Dope. and they just pulled us right off the table, and they were like, bam, give this away on the show. Probably helped them out a little bit, not having to haul this thing back to New York.
I want to get them on one day. We should just
bug
them. I don't know why we haven't just bugged them yet. I want to bring them on sometime. I want to chat them. We've been fanboying them long enough. Bring them on.
Yeah. This is dope though. It does have the gem on the eyes, and then all the other eyes on the monkey heads there, the ape heads. So that's cool. We'll give that away tonight. And then next week we got Death and Strawberries has his giveaway. Check this out that I put together for the Death and Strawberries one. Since he gave them to me at Decon, I put together a little Decon pack to go along with that one. So it's like you were at their table, right? Damn. Perf Lost, Death and Strawberries. They had these little business cards too, where they are one on each side, which that was pretty cool. Bam. There's a Decon Bear Brick deal. Yeah. Well, Grammy. Anyways, and then this Decon enamel pin.
Dude, I don't know if you've heard it lately, but you're such a fucking kind, considerate person, man. What a little giveaway bundle you've just made there.
Huh. Thank you. It was all stuff. This stuff was all free, man. Actually everything in my, well, besides, if you consider that you paid for the freebie pack with your ticket, you just kind of get it. But yeah, I mean, that stuff was all free, man. They had free stickers, they had free business cards, the programs were free. You could take as many of those as you were brave enough to haul out of there. And then the stuff from Death and Strawberries was free, dude. So shit, I mean, the least I could do is pass it along, right?
I was talking to Death and Strawberries, oh my goodness, a day or two ago, and I had to let him know, I was like, dude, you have no idea the size of pile that Be the J has received for giveaways. Not to mention, one of these days we need to put together a fucking reel of just every giveaway that's ever been donated in here. It's stupid. It's madness.
You know what, dude? I think I'm gonna try to do that, or at least start gathering the material. I'm gonna have a lot of time off here coming up, starting like next week. And I would think that would be cool, man, to just kind of do like grab a screenshot of every time we held one up or something like that. There's a lot, dude. I was thinking, shit, we're on 31 episodes. We've done at least one for each episode. At least one. I would say it's fair to say we've done at least two for every episode, right? I can't really remember an episode where we've done one, except for
always been at least two.
Yeah, I think the very first episode we gave away Hertz Glow RoboCop with that card backer. Congratulations, Pocket Tico. Even though it took him like months to get, he still got it. But that being said, dude, 60 something, I mean, you figure at least 60 something giveaways, at least. And I think that's on the very low side, to be honest with you. And I mean, the stuff, I don't buy a whole lot of stuff for giveaways. There's some stuff that I buy, but the majority of the stuff is donated, which is cool, man. I think that's a really good way to kind of just get your work out there, and kind of spread it around a little bit, no matter how big it is, dude. I mean, we have other pieces that we're going to give out next week that are just small pieces. But I mean, it is about the piece, right? You get a little piece, but then you get a little story about this artist, and maybe that'll turn you on to their page. Maybe it's someone that you don't really know about. And
you know what a win that is? I know everybody in this room knows, dude, getting a toy is such a fucking win. It feels so good on the soul. Ripping into that package, sniffing that fucking resin good. Whew. Yeah,
and especially when it comes with something like that, where you can kind of explore a little bit and see what else this person is making. And then you see the people that follow them, and then you just kind of start going down that rabbit hole. And here we are. Speaking of buying stuff, when I was doing the live the other day at Super 7, people kept on commenting on these Wing Kongs. And so I snagged a couple of these. We'll give these away next week. But anyways, Wing Kongs, dude, those are very cool. They have, dude, Super 7 has some sick sick stuff out right now. I could have spent a lot of money in there. They had some really super rad stuff. Porpoise got like this Mothra. Dude, they got this whole Godzilla line with these Godzilla monsters that are just incredible. Suki, what's happening, man? Northwest Atheist, what's up? Yeah.
Those do look rad as hell, and if anything, those look like something that we would see come out of the indie scene. They do not look. I do think some of these companies personally watch that shit. Maytel, for some reason, often likes my posts, and it's hard not to kind of be like, you mind getting the fuck out of here, Maytel?
Yeah, you're talking about just the toy company, right?
Yeah. It's interesting to me, like when some of their feeders are looking for data resources, whether AI or not, they are scoping shit based on hashtags that we're feeding them. And they are in some regards seeing like what is being trendy and what is being talked about the most and what is excelling. And
yeah, the timing of some of these stuff is really interesting, right? Like the most recently, I would say kind of on a little bit of a larger scale would be the Star Wars prototype stuff, right? Like we've been seeing that shit for years, bro. Like Mattel got a hold, or their whoever, Kenner got a hold of that and was like, okay, these are cool. And I'm just like, all right, well, fuck, dude. I don't know how many people have been doing those for, Has No Talent's been doing those for years. I've seen those all over the place, and it makes you wonder. I mean, it doesn't really make you wonder, right? Like, obviously, somebody saw that and was like, "Oh, that's dope," and people really like that. Let's make some. And next thing you know, they got fucking everything in that prototype flavor. Brett, you're right, dude. Those Muppets. I'm gonna go back for those, dude. That's one of those things that I'd like. They had these Muppet characters, dude, 3.75s, and it was the band members, and the card backing was the mouth of one of the band members with the gold tooth. Dude, what a great backer. It reminds me of it somewhat reminded me of the Old Dirty Bastard backer, which they still have. These are still in stock.
Because we're talking about backers, I'm not gonna be able to stop thinking about them for a long ass time, man. I'm still floored by Dark Rainbow Toys last week. That dude was nuts, man. I can't get over the attention to detail. Sorry.
You know what is really cool, man, is that the winners of those pieces are gonna open those up, and they're seriously gonna look at those things, and they're gonna be like, holy shit. I definitely did. They're crazy, dude. And I like that other figure that he's working on. That is super sick. But
the casting is nuts. I don't even care about backers generally. You guys know this. I'm normally not somebody who fanboys over backers. Those backers were well made looking backers with a lot of attention to detail.
Yeah, dude. I was talking to somebody about his pieces, and I was like, it's funny how he was just so casual about it. Like, yeah, I kind of work on it in my spare time. I don't really sell them. I do trade some stuff. And it's just kind of like this extra stuff that I do. And you're just like, holy crap, dude. Like if you got into that full time, I don't want to make a living off of it, but dude, holy smokes, dude, that's work is just incredible.
I think it's one of those things where unfortunately they're drastically undervaluing the time price wise. They're undercharging for their time right now. I think absolutely is a big
thing. For sure, man. It's the Electric Mayhem logo. Okay, cool. So it's the band logo for the Mayhem group in the Muppets. That's cool.
I've always loved Animal, man. Honestly, like ever since being a kid, there's just something about Animal's energy that I'm just like, bring it. The fact they've got to keep it chained up behind the drums, it's like, yeah, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, what a fun show, dude. My daughter had turned on the old school Muppets Christmas the other day, just to watch it, which is always good. But yeah, man. Yeah, so do we want to talk about drops and stuff right now, or we want to save that for later on?
We can. Last week we didn't actually go through the news. It was another long episode. We've been having a lot of those lately.
Dude, I noticed that after we finished, I was like, dude, that's second week in a row where we didn't talk about news. What are we doing?
What are we doing? And shout out, actually, I want to give a little bit of a shout out really quickly to Yakamak, because somehow, yes, last week I was doing the Wheel of Names. I actually pulled Yakamak up on the Wheel of Names. He wasn't even watching. When General Porpoise went to offer him the giveaway piece, he straight up was like, "Oh, I wasn't in it." So Porpoise reaches out to me, being like, "Yo, Yakamak says spin the wheel again." So I go through the history, I remove Yakamak from the wheel, spin the wheel again. Somebody else ended up winning the Porpoise. But those are the type of people we're dealing with here, man. A fucking homie ends up winning the piece, realizes, whoa, I wasn't actually there, man. Spin the wheel again, and fucking that beautiful Porpoise piece went off into another dope home.
Here's something too. I'm gonna plug it real quick in an indirect way. Yucca Muck still has a piece that's available in the Cadaver Productions store. And it's from a show that's been passed for a while. Some accounts don't advertise, when the store is over. I mean, when the show's over, the show's just kind of over. And there may be an ads, maybe once or twice in the following days that say, hey, some of the stuff's still available. A lot of the stuff I did not realize was still available. Cadaver Productions, that's the one that I'm going to plug right now. I was telling you, dude, there is 5.5 carded pieces in there for $14. And they're made by Geezer. They're made by Bradley, and I think they look like solid pieces, man. But there is a Yucca Muck piece in there too, and I didn't even know that piece existed just until like yesterday, till I was flipping through there and I saw it. I was like, holy smokes, dude, that's crazy. But there's also a Jimmy Folklore piece in there, which is cool. And I think that one's $40. And I want to say the Yucca Muck is right in that same neighborhood. But yeah, you guys look around. Go take a look in there.
Well, I don't know if I'm just a crazy person. I'm trying to pull up. I was trying to pull up the Cadaver Productions Instagram, and it's not pulling up.
That's odd. Yeah, I was on there earlier today, just kind of poking around. I do have a package to open from Tyler, Dark Maiden tonight. He was doing he looks like he was cleaning out some figures the other day, and he had a really strong price on some 5.5s. So I picked up a couple of those, which I'm surprised he actually still had some of those left. I thought they were pretty well done.
Okay, so I don't want to cause fucking shit. I'm gonna try and like dance around this as nicely as possible, I guess. I saw a post earlier this evening that had alarmed me, I guess, a little bit when you were just talking about Yucca Muck having a piece in the Cadaver Production store. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pull up their page real quick. I'm gonna give you guys the link because I'm not sure if we'll see that shop up and running much longer. I can't pull up the IG page right now, so I'm just gonna share the store link. So if you guys want that, it's a little easier to access that.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the homies have some pieces chilling right now in the Cadaver Production / Behind the Bootleg store Envy. So
yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know how long the store will be up. If you see something there you like, I would not think too long on it.
Yeah, and I mean the prices, they just keep dropping and dropping and dropping. I don't think the price on the Jimmy Folklore or the Yucca Muck piece is dropping, and I don't think they should. I think those should stick exactly where they're at because I think they're absolutely worth it. I'm not saying the other pieces in there are not worth it, but the other ones I think that are made by Bradley, Yoli, and Dark Maiden, those ones kind of continue to drop. But like I said, man, carded 5.5s for $14. That's kind of crazy. And dude, I think we should probably just even address the elephant in the room, dude. Yoli made a post earlier today, and it was saying it sounds like maybe she's going through a tough time. It's really none of our business, but she put it out there that sounded like she was frustrated with her work, and I think she gets frustrated with her work a lot. It's very specific work. Let's be brutally honest, dude. It is hard to display a huge penis in your house amongst your collection. It's a very specific audience.
even before we go down that rabbit hole, I'm just gonna like, art is so bizarre. Art is so fucking bizarre. I can think something is absolutely disgusting and stupid and
Mhm.
pointless, and it could still be worth $1,500 or more. Art is difficult construct. The moment that you bring art and capitalism together, it is a difficult thing. Art, unfortunately, is difficult. It is taxing. It is mentally laborious. I've talked to you quite often that the moment that I am on full freelance duty, I understand that full fear mode, man. I can
Yeah.
completely understand it. This is a huge scene. There are tons of Toyz, tons of phenomenal artists across the board, Yoli included. It's just there's so many toys. This is a very
Yeah.
difficult time of year for everybody, toy maker or not. And I do feel like, unfortunately, like I've said it to be a couple times leading up to Christmas, part of what I absolutely hate about this month is that a lot of folks, when money gets tight, when we're creatives, the best way we know how to try and actually maybe bring a little bit more in is to try and overturn an investment. You've already poured money into this resource. That's now an opportunity cost. But the fact of the matter is, unfortunately, like this toys in general, art toys are very niche. Art in general is very niche. The moment we enter into a recession or a point where wants are no longer being want as often, art is always going to see a bit of a suffering. It is very tough. It is very, very tough. I hope for any artist ever that the moment they stop, it's because they're no longer enjoying it, and the moment they can enjoy it again, they start again. This is always supposed to be for you. It's not supposed to be for anybody else. When you start creating art, it's supposed to be for you.
Well said, dude. Well said. And let's hope that it's just kind of one of these roller coaster things where sometimes we just kind of lose interest and focus for a little while on everything that we're doing. You know what I mean? And then we end up getting back on it. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But I've been there before, dude, where and I've had conversations with you before where you're just like, man, I just want to break for a little while, dude. I want to do, I want to go 10 to 14 days without posting anything or, any pictures. And hopefully whatever break that does will spark something again of saying, man, I want to go do that again. And I could see as an artist, if you're not selling anything, or it's just not going, maybe the whole creative process isn't going the way
You have to
you
enjoy it.
know. Yeah, that it's frustrating. It's got to be.
Peter laid it out for me very early when I moved down here in a way that now is just like stuck and I'm obsessed with it. There needs to be the intrinsic and extrinsic value. The moment one of those starts to fluster, you can only really ride on one for so long. You need both the intrinsic and extrinsic value. AKA, it's great if you're making toys and they're selling all the time, but if you have no sense of community, you feel like you're actually taking time away from your family, loved ones, things you also enjoy, not worth it. There you go, pocket salsa. So hit up only Yoli. They
Yeah.
do some big giant resin penises. Some of them have some Vaders. Some of them have, I believe, a Luke Skywalker one, various painted ones, different resin pours.
So here's maybe I don't remember seeing it in there, but so is it Cadaver Productions and there's all those other groups working underneath them? Is it Geezer, Yoli, and Dark Maiden working under the Cadaver name, and they all sell out of that same store? Is that
I believe Cadaver Productions was originally behind the Bootleg, which was a separate like entity that was celebrating and throwing shows. It was very similar to like what we do, where you sit down, you chat with some artists, but then also a big part of it was they would throw some shows and stuff. And because they were already operating a storefront, it was easy for them to be able to use the storefront, I believe, to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to, I've wanted to bring Geezer in for a while, man. We'll have to fucking bring Geezer in, chat his ear off about stuff. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
We're on a weird episode tonight. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's been around for a long time and he's a super knowledgeable dude, man. If you're into anything Migo, shit, Bradley is your man. That dude he's a Migo aficionado, I would say.
A weird episode tonight, would you say?
Yeah, why? Because it's 50 minutes in and we're just kind of shooting the shit.
About some weird shit too, dude. We're
Yeah,
really
it is, man.
cooking with
We
shit
got off
tonight.
we got off topic there. The whole main point of that was for get in that store, buy folk if you can get in the store. Folklore's got a piece in there. Yuckamuck's got a piece in there. There's other bargains in there. Check it out if you can get in. If not, don't. Moving on. Shit. What
Pocket
else?
salsa. I'm actually gonna drop it in the link for you right there. And you know what, dude? In about 10 minutes, we're gonna bring in the fucking dynamic duo. We call them a dynamic duo. Um, Drew, man, got your DMs. Thank you so much. I'll be available in about 10 minutes. Dude, don't worry about it at all. Somehow we just like to fuck with your brain, apparently. We like to just like keep you on your toes and fuck with you. I'm also going to actually grab not just the link for the store, but I want this is a cult, Street Fight SPDX. Anybody who's here because you love toys, and toys are a cult, man. Okay, I want to pull up. Sorry, my brain is scatterbrained as fuck. I did mention that earlier, right?
Yeah, all good.
Okay.
Hey, you've been locked up. You've been locked up, right?
Now that's how she goes. But there was somebody we were just talking about. I wanted to pull up. Oh, the only Yoli account for you, Pocket Salsa. I got you, homie. Gonna get you that link. That way you can get yourself a nice big resin penis. Boom, boom. There she be. Yeah, dude. Let's pull Eddie in. If you guys don't mind, the homies, if you're watching at the moment, I'm gonna bug you guys to appropriately name your Zoom name. If you click on the actual name, it should allow you to edit it. Only because you're both right now iPad 3 and iPhone, dude. And like, I don't know who fucks who. I'm already hard enough on that shit. One of us. One of us. Street Fight SPDX on the ball, man. I mentioned that the one day. Somebody had no idea what the fuck I was talking about.
What's that?
Oh, it's a movie where essentially they're at dinner and basically like all these quote unquote freaks for the context of the movie, that's what they are. They all basically start chanting like this really weird, like, one of us, what? And basically the person's freaking out, looking around the table, being like, no. Yeah. Gobble, gobble. There we go. It's been a very long time for me, to be honest.
Eddie just texted me. I believe he's on the iPad.
All right, we're pulling an iPad 3 Eddie. That's what I'm gonna start calling it now. iPad 3 Eddie. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bring it up. We're pulling Eddie in here. He'll say it. But legend.
Yeah. iPad 3.
iPad 3 joining the room. What is this shit?
What's up?
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Yeah. What's up?
What's up, my man?
What's up, my man? iPad 3. Let me turn this off. Okay. I'm like literally watching the show.
Oh, dude. We love hearing that.
Yeah, this was my idea, I think. Didn't I invite myself, Big?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, you're not the easiest guy to get a hold of, man. And then, I see you at DCon, and yeah, dude, it's kind of nerve-wracking going up to Eddie from Resin Blood and being like, hey, dude, you want to be on my show? So I just didn't say it. And then when you reached out, I'm like, so I'm gonna tell everybody what you said. He goes, hey man, your show's missing something. And I'm like, fuck, I'm all ears. What is it? What's missing? And he goes, me. You name it. Open invitation. When do you want to be on? Here we are.
Yeah.
There we go. What are you working on, dude? Dude, do you work?
Oh my God.
When do you sleep? Let's start there.
Not much.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I got like this tattoo shop. I hang out in the basement and I make, everything. I don't know. Can I turn this around on here? I'm not good with this one. Oh, here we go. So yeah, like, hold on. Oops. So yeah, like, I sit at this table and there's my TV, but then like, like I'm sculpting right now.
Look at that place, dude. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So that's what I'm doing the last couple of days. But and then like, you know, it's just like where like dude, look at all my like I've been painting this thing.
Oh, dude, that's dope. I saw you post that. Now, what's the story behind that one? That's the one that you picked up last year at DCon. That was a solid green blank, correct?
Yeah. And I just I had it laying around for a while, and I don't know, I like blanks. So sometimes it's hard for me to just like paint on something. I like to like have an idea of what's going on. So yeah, it was laying around for a while, and then dude, I got that paint from Wonder Goblin. And it's like amazing, dude. It's like really good.
Did you pick that up at DCon?
I did pick some up there, but I had ordered it before that. And, you know, it's just like, it's really good. Like I'm always looking for different paints, but yeah, that stuff works good. And yeah, so yeah, you know, and I got the toy store too. Actually, my vehicle is in the shop right now. So, and dude, I get these ideas and then I can't stop. I got this great girlfriend that just understands, and I'm just like,
she's dope. I met her at DCon. Very sweet gal, dude. You're a lucky man.
Yeah, she's nice.
So set the scene for me, dude. So is it the toy cantina, right?
Yeah.
And your raw power tattoo, right?
Right.
And then so is this all in the same location?
Yeah. You want to go on a tour?
Yes.
Please. Because I'm even looking at your basement thinking, holy shit, the basement to your tattoo shop is massive.
Dude, isn't it though? Look how long it is, dude.
It's a big place. So this is what I want to do real quick before I start walking around. I'm going to turn off my stereo. So this, let me see if I can get these on my earplugs so I can walk around. Hold on a second.
Thank you so much for coming in and doing this, by the way, man. Super appreciated.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
Okay. Here we go. All right. So yeah, this is the basement. You know, I make shirts and all. I make everything. And here's like leftover decon when I got home. And then, you know, like this back here is a dark room for making shirts and stuff. And then I got my washout room. It's a mess. It's always like something's always going off. And then we head up the steps here. And everyone just left for the night. It's like 11, you know, so. Yeah, and then, you know, I work in this room, which I just painted. I ain't done yet, but. So this is my shop. You guys can hear me?
Oh yeah, dude, that's dope. And so this is the tattoo portion.
Okay, everyone be patient. You know, like I do all the art too. Like I did all this stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, I was creeping your other IG page. I'll share all of them actually. I'm gonna drop all the links here in a second in the chat. But I was looking at like your more tattoo page, and you still had toys buried in there. Of course, that's shit.
Yeah, I just did this one last weekend. Like I don't know, I just think of stuff or like what would look good, you know. Okay, and then we go out the door here. It's raining here. We should have been getting snow, but we ended up getting this crazy, like, we should have been getting snow, but we ended up getting this crazy, like, rain instead. And then the toy store is one door away. I kept it open. And I'm probably going to switch Wi-Fis.
Okay. And it looks like we've probably.
So it's the toy.
There you go.
You got me?
Yep.
Dude, that was surprisingly seamless.
Yeah.
God
Dude,
damn,
so
dude.
Eddie, tell us about Toy Cantina, man. You have like regular, I mean, you got like regular stuff in there, man, besides your own stuff and bootleg stuff. How are you getting just regular, like what we're looking at right now, man? Do you just buy a ton of product and resell it in there? I think he cut out.
Oh, there we go. Got him.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, that did take a second. Okay, hold on. All right, he's got me now.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So what happened here was, dude, around the East Coast where I live, like ZoloCon. You guys ever hear of ZoloCon?
Yes.
Well, that's like 2 miles from here.
Mm.
So like I actually became friends with him this year, like last year. And this is my arcade, which I love.
That's dope.
I'm always in here. And dude, we have like art shows in here, but it's like a little messy now. And then the garage door opens up. The light won't come on. But yeah, there's a garage door and then a nice backyard. So, but yeah, so like, you know, there's like toy shows out here like every weekend. And you know, they're like little ones in school auditoriums and stuff like that, like figure shows, you know. And
Yeah.
so like I'm going to all these shows, and I ran into a couple of my buddies, and you know, they're like so we just started like going around to all these different toy shows. And I mean, I'm just collecting. I collect GI Joe a lot. This is like our display for that, but I mean, I have a ton of it at home. I mean, dude, look at these Star Wars figures. Like, look at this unopened Luke. 3,000.
Good old blonde Luke.
So are those, man, dude? So are those yours that you're
Well, yeah, they're for sale. And
Wow.
you know, they're actually not mine. They're actually like more my partners. And there's 3 of us.
Right.
And like we all collect, and then you know, we go haggle, dude, at shows, at flea markets, everything. And some people tell me like that's not real big on the West Coast, but I find that hard to believe. But and yeah, you know, like even all these GI Joe classifieds, like I bought them at a toy show and I got them for cheap, you know. And so and all of our prices are like a little cheaper than eBay. Like we try to keep it real with everyone. And people nowadays, when you have a brick and mortar, they come right in and look at their phone. So
Yeah.
so I try to be super easy about it, but I love this.
That's dope, man. And you know what, dude? That's a lot of how a lot of the toy stores are out here as well, where it's usually a combination of people and different collections and stuff that make up one store. And you're right, dude, that buying process, that whole dickering process, for whatever reason, dude, that seems like an East Coast thing.
Yeah.
You do have that out here, but it's just not as prevalent. I mean, shit, dude, I've seen whole shows dedicated to that process of guys just kind of haggling over it. And it's not a disrespectful thing. It's just kind of what you do.
Yeah, totally. And people are cool about it, man. And people, dude, like you get people at these flea markets, they do not care about toys. They clean out people's houses for a living. And on Sundays, and dude, I got people that are like, yo, I found this in this dude's attic. It was his grandmom's house. She bought all these toys in the 80s and forgot to give them I swear to God, this dude was like, she forgot to give them to us. Like, I guess she was stuffing toys up in the attic and hiding them from herself. And then when they cleaned out the house, they found all these toys. Dude, they were all He-Man. It was some of these. And I was like, are you kidding? He was like, no, I swear, dude. Like she died, so we don't know what's up, but she must have forgot, you know, like, wow. So
that's unreal, dude.
I want to smell
yeah, it's neat. And so it's the 3 of us, 3 dudes I grew up with. So, and we were all toy nuts. But these dude, like this dude, my buddy Sean, man, he's like you know, these guys are Star Wars professionals. Like, I mean, they know everything. And like we're walking through. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I know a lot about toys, but you think you know a lot about toys until. You know, I know guys, this my partner, Matt, you can hand him any gun and he'll tell you where it comes from. Like he's that into it. And I'm like when I walk around shows, I'm with him and I'm like, yo. And he's like, yup. get it, you know, get this. And dude, it's fun because I do G.I. Joe a lot. And I'll be like, oh shit, I got this figure, or I got this backpack and this gun, but I need this figure. And then, you know, you put it together and it's worth more money. I mean, I don't know. It's more about fun, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know who's really who I see post a lot about GI Joe figures is Total Madness Customs. I don't know if you know who he's out here on the West Coast in LA. But that's his gig, man. That's all he does is like GI Joe Lucy's old school and puts them together like that. Dude, it's pretty sick.
Yeah. I've been looking at a couple dudes, and to be honest, I've made some GI Joe themed toys, but I'd really like to really get into that more. It's not an easy toy to bootleg.
Yeah.
You know,
fucking rivets, man.
Yeah, man. And the thighs are cut in half and stuff, but I don't know. I can cast anything.
I hope that I don't come across as sounding rude when I say this, but honestly, man, I feel as though your casting abilities have gone leaps and bounds over the past year, man.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm trying to do it right. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I'm looking for my key.
Man, don't be sorry at all. But between even the paint apps that you do, your model choice and selection, and I couldn't help but notice, like, again, when I was on your tattoo and like illustration page earlier, I'm scrolling down and all of a sudden I see a fucking monster sculpt piece that you have, that you're doing a hollow resin figure. I'm very, very curious about your hollow resin figure process, because that sounds really intriguing to me.
Yeah. Sorry. I just wanted to make sure this door was locked. Yeah, well, you know it, man. Like, I didn't really know what I was doing at all. And, you know, I'm definitely a COVID guy. So, like, dude, during COVID, I was lost, and they shut down my shop, and, you know, I was just lost. I was going, I got this buddy down the street has a comic shop, and I was going in there every day. He was just illegally open, and I was just sitting in there reading, and I was just getting like more toys, and like I'm out painting graffiti, and I'm like doing any art I can. I was doing canvases, and I print posters and do all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, you know, and dude, I swear to God, like I saw Peter, I saw Killer first, and I was like, I sat up out of my chair and stood up and was like, fuck. Like, I remember looking at that Phantom Star-Lord toy and being like, what is that? And then, like, when I seen the hashtags, I literally stood up off the couch and said out loud in a room by myself, holy fuck, dude. Right. And dude, like, there was nothing online, or like I learned how to make molds from watching a video about a guy making a mold to replace a car headlight plastic. And I was like, all right, I got to make dude, there wasn't much online at the time. I don't know if there is now, but
it's been exponentially developing, man.
Yeah.
Exponentially developing. Dudes were casting shit in fucking hot glue gun at the beginning of the pandemic. Just fucking firing like hot glue gun glue into a fucking mold, man.
I think I remember stuff like that. And yeah, man. I mean, I watched some Craftsman videos, definitely. And then, you know, and I got to know some of them dudes at Martian Toys. They're always at Decon and 5 Points. They got a store down in Philly. So, yeah, and then, you know, boom, 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 and one thing led to another. And actually, Dove called me, and then, you know, dude, I'm obsessed with it. So now I'm sculpting. Sculpting's like my weakest part, my weakest skill. So my weakest part of it. So I'm trying to like really sculpt. I mean, I'm sculpting stuff, and then when I'm done, I just hate it. So it's like, I'm not saying you're supposed to like everything, but I'm just saying, like, I don't claim to be good at it. I'm like really just learning how to do it correctly, you know?
What incentive?
Like, I want to sculpt bigger stuff.
if you don't mind my asking, like if you're not super confident in sculpting, what made you decide to lean into that?
Dude, you know what? Like, dude, I don't want to like, dude, I think like Scott Cherry, dude, and like, I became really good friends with him, and he sculpts his brains out, and he's good. And there's a lot to do in this. You're making card backs, and dude, I couldn't even log in on an email. I was like a computer dinosaur. I'm all hands on, and I had to get an iPad and learn how to draw on an iPad. In order to make card backs like the way I wanted to at the time. And so there's that, and there's making molds and modifying stuff, and there's a lot to it. And I love it, dude. And you know what? This is a young thing, and I really support what you guys are doing. I love it, dude. Every week I watch now. Like it started like a couple of weeks ago. I caught I seen some of it, and then I missed a few. But I believe in what you guys are doing, and I think it's awesome. You guys are fucking putting everyone's stuff out and all. It's great, dude. It's fun.
For one, you run one of the dopest fucking independent and fucking commercial toy stores that I know of. On top of the fact that you're fucking legendary, you've helped a lot of people in this scene actually figure out what the fuck they're doing. Like you said, man, a lot of this information wasn't readily available. You have definitely contributed back into the scene as much knowledge as you were able to pull. Like,
yeah, thank you.
You're killing it, man. I think you're far too humble.
Dude, well, so that's what I was gonna say, Eddie, dude. So you've done, man, so you started the vinyls. I think it was last year around Decon with the Yeti was one of your first vinyls that you put out. And you've been going strong on the vinyls ever since then. And then
listen, they're not really vinyls. Like, I'm still waiting for my first vinyl. Like, the Wompbot with the plastic bulb head?
Yes.
Like, that's getting made right now, and I'm waiting for it. It's a little late, but I'm waiting for it. And then I got another vinyl in the works going on right now that Plagued Earth's kind of helping me with. But all those other ones I make with 357, they're vinyl. I mean, they're resin. So I rotocast them, and so, so that's that, they're like, I'm not making all of them in vinyl, but like, I'm trying to, like, it's not easy to get vinyl toys made. It's not, even if you got the money, it's not easy, dude, especially with what's going on in China right now. And, and
well, just that process, man. I mean, we've seen some videos of people just do that kind of vinyl pulling process, dude. And that's
right.
Form in itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
I like it. I like monsters, and I like bulky stuff also, but I love figures, so love toys,
What's on deck for the show? You're doing the Plagued Earth show coming up, right?
Yeah. And I was sculpting that thing I showed you down in the basement. It looks like kind of like the Metal Luna mutant from this island Earth.
That's dope.
What's funny is you hit me up last night about painting that Last Resort toy, and I was talking to him yesterday for a while. He's my buddy. And I did 5 points, and he ended up just being next to me. And he's a great guy, dude. And it was funny that you said that.
Yeah, that is, dude. So I had bought this blank. This was one of the opens that I was going to do tonight, but this is the glow in the dark muckoid.
Right.
It's huge. You know what I mean? So this is from last week. I'm going to send this to Eddie to paint, but your choice. So I did get 2 things from him. You tell me which one you want to do. You can either do the muckoid, or I got this yellow Fragacuda blank, which is also dope.
Okay, well, listen. You know what's funny is I have a bunch of his toys here. I have one of those things. Dude, right here.
These things are fucking huge, dude. I did not know this Fragacuda was this big. This is a monster, dude. This thing's...
Look, I got him right here.
Yeah, the lice plant. Yeah, those are dope too.
Yeah, and then I got some of his stuff in here. So, but yeah, down here and all. So,
well, now
yeah,
I feel like an idiot because I was telling Eddie, I was like, oh yeah, I might get one of those lice plants too. And he's probably like, yeah, I got a fucking closet full of those things downstairs.
well, that's what I got left. But I mean, if you want one, you know what I mean. Well, when this is over, I'll talk to you. But
yeah,
yeah, I could probably, yeah. I was even gonna say to you, like, I was like thinking in my head, like, I could just go paint that one, you know. But yeah, I really want to paint it. So, but now that you have that, I'll do that. You know, I'll do the gator thing.
Right on.
What's that? Is that what it's called? What's it called?
Frogacuda. So it's a frog barracuda, I'm assuming is what that is. But they're dope, man. I've seen a lot of them out there.
That's another one that Crumbs was asking in Last Resort, dude. Do you ever watch his page? It's like his videos of him sculpting and the process, like, dude, you know. And
yeah,
I'm a little bit impatient. I like quick stuff, and like I like to come up with an idea and make it. But that sculpting, you don't do that. You got to slow it down a lot, and I learned that, you know. So I'm just trying to make
Last
stuff.
Resort, he has some dope videos on jointing a Safubi piece, and I think that was probably one of the dopest things I ever saw when I saw him actually breaking down like how he was shoving basically like cardboard into the monster clay to get like the joints.
Right. Yes.
Smart artist.
Yeah,
man.
smart. Yeah, he's good, ain't he?
Eddie, you were just saying that, you know, like when you have an idea, you know, you have these ideas just kind of going really quick and then you want to make them. Is that kind of your style, dude? Like you're like the repetition that you have of new stuff coming out, dude. I don't want to say it's daily, but it's pretty damn close to weekly, right? Where there's a new character or some new polls or something like that. Is that kind of how you operate? Like you think of something and boom, you're making it.
Yeah, I'm a drug addict, dude. You know, I'm a retired drug addict. So I mean, everything is. I really did turn like I get obsessed with things, and I really just, you know, I'm obsessed with it, dude. And I'm obsessed with collecting, and I'm obsessed with all of it. I'm obsessed with all of it. So I don't know. I mean, I've dedicated my life to it, dude. Like you know.
I think he's gonna pop back in a quick second here.
Yeah, I'll pop back in a second.
Right.
Dude, amazing. Holy shit, bro.
What a guy.
Dude, we're getting a tour from Eddie from Resin Blood. He's just walking around like just telling us whatever.
Because, dude, like,
there we go.
Okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
My favorite thing, my favorite thing is pouring a toy and pulling it out and putting it together and painting it. And so, but I can't always do that. And there's work that has to lead up to that. And you know, so yeah. And, you know, I use 20T silicone. It dries in 20 minutes, you know, and sometimes I get it. Sometimes I'm down here smoking weed and I'm like, man, I think I got that figure upstairs, and I'll go upstairs and I'll take it and I'll get an idea and I'll be like, dude, okay, I did it last week with that black.
Oh man, he dropped.
He'll pop back in a quick second here.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude, isn't it crazy that
overload?
It is. And you know what's crazy though is we're just about to get into it. It sounds like is the contrast between having an idea and making it, and having an idea and making it. Whereas other people were like, take Kerfloss for example, like I'm going to work on this head for 3 months, and then I'm going to sculpt an arm. And Eddie's just like, bam, kit bash, pour, go. Another color, go. Glow, go. Paint it up, go. Nonstop.
To a degree, I do get it. He did mention it there, retired drug user. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I think there's a lot of us that have had that experiences in our youth, and we understand that we are very addictive personalities, and we do recognize how obsessed we have become with these lovely toys.
So he's texting me right now. He says I fucked up. What do I do? Can he
just join right back on the link? Yeah, just click right back on the link. Click right back on that link. It should bring them right back into the Zoom meeting. And then we're all groovy, man. No problem. We're all cool over here. Flying by the seat of our pants like normal, you know. Is that the expression? I don't know the fucking expression.
Yeah, his store is amazing because it doesn't feel overly full. Yeah, and that's what's crazy too, right? It's like, you know, it is a bootleg store. He does have his own stuff in there, but then it's got regular stuff. And it's very organized, dude. Like you saw the stuff on his wall. That is very nicely organized. The rounders that he has, those are very nicely organized, dude. That's a like, and he said his prices are a little bit below eBay. I mean, shit, dude. I know if I had that local store here, that would be a very popular store. You know what I mean?
Cluttered. I think that's like, it's not cluttered. You can actually see what the fuck is there easily. Yeah.
Me and Hurt are gonna go to a couple shops this weekend. But we gotta drive. You know, we are gonna hit up that Swarm store out in Fremont, I believe, which is a ways away for us, but we're gonna try. But dude, what a great just local shop, dude. Now he's in Feasterville, Pennsylvania, and I'm not quite sure where that is. Calico Chris, it sounds like he hangs out there. You'd have to give me an idea of where that is in relation to someplace like Philadelphia, because I don't know. Strafe 7 in the house. What's up, my man? We were just talking to Eddie. He dropped off. He'll be coming right back in. But shit, man, me, Strafe, Eddie, Fletch had a fucking great time at Decon. Spice was in there as well. Right outside of Philly. Okay.
And we got Reservoir coming right on back in, man. He's gonna come join us here. I just saw him hop back into the room, so I'm gonna pull him in. There he is.
Dude, tattoo shop, toy shop, arcade.
Dude, what the fuck? Yeah, you know what that? Do you know what the fuck that was? Yo, let me tell you something, dude. I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. Like, dude, these fucking new ear pods, right? If you just touch them, it hangs everything up. Like the thing's falling out of my ear. You know, great fucking. We're going great. I mean, dude, I'm gonna put them in an never mind. But sorry about that.
Go.
If a certain person is watching, he's laughing right now because it happens every day, all day. I just touch my ear and it hangs up the conversation. It's awful. It's a glitch in the Apple world. Anyway.
What an entrance, man. That was awesome. Dude, so hey, real quick, I've always wanted to ask you about this, dude. Anytime we talk about everything else besides this. So this piece from Kerfloss.
Yeah. What a great toy, right?
It's amazing. Dude, this is by far one of the dopest paint jobs that I have. That thing's incredible. Now, did you cast this too, or did you just paint it?
No, I just painted it.
You just
I wanted to, man. I wanted to. You know what? I said to him one night, I said, you know, let me cast this. And he's like, you don't have to. Gula Gaba is going to send you the molds. So that dude can't find a mailbox or something, I heard. So I don't know. So I never got them, you know. I mean, I don't even have one of them figures now. So I'd love to get that.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Titty Bean in the house. What's up, my man?
I would love to be able to make that toy. I think that's one of the best toys. I mean, if there was like, you know, I just think that's one of the best figures that was made last year, you know, like, do you? I mean, I don't know. I just.
Dude, agreed, man.
Ground up.
From the ground up, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, is that I really like the documentation, dude, right? And the documentation is also big with somebody like Lab Monkey 9, and that's something that we always talk about too, is the documentation process really adds something to it. As the buyer, you can always have that to go back to it, but it really starts to build up, right? Like the fucking before the Super Bowl, dude. Like if the Super Bowl just came on and you didn't see anything ahead of time, you'd be like, what the fuck, right? But now you got
that's right. That's right.
You got this build up, and then they drop it on you, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's great.
There it is, you know?
Yeah, when I first saw that toy in my mind, I was like, man, that toy is worthy of like him getting picked up by a toy company. Like Kenner should be knocking for him. But you know, but anyway, but like it's unbelievable. It's awesome, dude. And dude, I'll tell you, that guy, he sat with me in 21 at Decon. Remember?
Yep.
And dude, like I went home and sculpted. I went home and sculpted this because of him. Like because I was like, you know, I messed with clay before and stuff, but I just wasn't sculpting like that. And it's intimidating, man. And you know, it's intimidating. You start sculpting and you're like, okay, wait, hold on. You know, this ain't happening fast. And like, so yeah, it's like anything else, man. You got to do it a lot to get good at it. But you know, I went home and did that because kind of him. And I just bought new wax off of strawberries. So you know, like them dudes are awesome. And I ask them dudes questions all the time and he's answer them, you know, and they're great dudes, you know. So there's a lot of people like that, don't you think? I mean,
dude, absolutely, man. And that's one of the fucking dope things about this place is that, you know, not to fucking like throw names or anything around, dude, but the first dude I ever fucking reached out to in this community was fucking Healy. And the dude hit me almost right away. And it wasn't like some half-assed bullshit answer, dude. It was like an in-depth conversation that I started having with this dude right off the bat.
Right.
And everybody's like that. Kerfloss is like that. Death and Strawberries is like that. Anybody at Decon is like that. But then you hit guys up, dude. Like, you want to know something about Strafe 7's process? He'll probably tell you. You know what I mean? And it's like secrets, dude. It's like
that's my buddy.
You can have the recipe and everybody can have the same recipe and you're still going to have different shit at the end of the day because everybody's using a little bit different ingredients, right? Same recipe, different ingredients. It's fucking wild, dude, that everybody's so open with it, man. And just
it's awesome.
There's hardly anybody that is a fucking asshole, right?
Yeah, and hardly. And you know, there's you know, like that dude, I didn't know what that dude looked like or anything. And you know, I'm all over the place, and like, you know, he comes up to me and says hello, and then like I turned my back and like looked his name up real quick on Instagram, and then like as soon as it popped up, I'm like, oh, I'm always looking at this dude's stuff. Like it's weird how that happens, you know. And dude, I've gotten a lot of love, dude, from One Trick Pony and Earth to Kentucky are my friends, Dustin, and like I said, Barbarian Rage, and Dove, and you, and Fletch is like, you know, my boy. And, you know, yeah, it's fucking cool. I love the toy people.
You mentioned kind of quickly there, you said that you ended up grabbing some of the Death and Strawberries / Kerfloss wax samplers. What are your plans with that, man? I'm super curious, to be honest.
My plan is to take this toy right after I hang out with you guys, you know, this guy, and I'm going to probably cast it. And then I'm going to spit one out. I'll probably spit a couple out in plastic for fun, but then I'm going to put the Kenner wax in their recipe, because it's actually just like a recipe that they make that's like the Kenner wax. So it's really cool. And then, so I never did this yet, this part. So this is new tonight. So, and then they're telling me once I get my original in their wax, I'll be able to shape it and clean it up a little bit better than with my clay. Because I mean, dude, right here, I have a little bit of everything here. I'm trying to turn this around, but I ain't trying to fuck this phone anymore. But you know, I got like this sculpt stuff, and I got Sculpey and all kinds of. I try all kinds of stuff, but I feel like Monster Clay. You know, I feel like Monster Clay has been good to me for like, you know, stuff I wanted to do. So yeah, you know, it's new for me. You know, I mean. You know, first, it was molds and trying to do that. And dude, you know, I don't lie. And I know, like, even Fletch says it right to me. He's like, you definitely don't make the cleanest toy, but like, you know, try to focus on that now. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like I really, like, you know, you learn. And I just, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm impatient, and like, you know, sometimes I'll just make a toilet paper mold with the toilet paper, and you know, that's fine. A lot of people do that, but you know, I think the right way is a 2-piece, and then like you can like really work it in with the line and all. Like there's different things, and you know, so whatever. You know.
And see, and that's another thing, dude. Like what you're saying about what Fletch said, dude. It's you know, if it's not the cleanest toy, like in this community, who gives a fuck, dude? It's not about having the cleanest toy. For some guys, it is. You know what I mean? Some guys are all about just having a super clean piece. But I would say you're a great fucking example of buying a piece because of the mystique of the piece and because of the artist who made it and because of the whole fucking vibe, dude. Sometimes for me, it's not about how clean that piece is. I would say with yours, it's never about that, dude. It's always about the paint or the sculpt or the pour.
Yeah.
Something like that, dude. Thanks. I mean, you can hit on all these other points, which is super sick. So being good in all these different disciplines, man, like I know that you're super sick. So when with like airbrushing, that is on point. But you and I had talked before about some of just your spray paint work. I know that you did that dope mural over at E2K.
Yeah, thanks.
And how long has that been going on?
Since like the early 90s. And like, you know, I grew up in Philadelphia, so it's like that's a thing here. Every kid in school, in middle school has a tag in Philadelphia. You know, like kids in Iowa don't. And kids in Philadelphia, while they're sitting in class ignoring the teacher, they're writing graffiti in their books because when they're walking to school, there's graffiti everywhere, just like New York. And actually, it's an ongoing argument, but graffiti started in Philadelphia and then it went right to New York. But it started in Philly in the 60s. So, you know, there was a guy named Cornbread. You can look it up. He's a legend. So, you know, and it's a thing here. There's a rich graffiti culture in Philadelphia. It gets violent and it gets crazy, and there's like beefs and things, and it goes up and down. And I think it's going through a phase right now where like there's a lack of piecers and more like tagging and busters going on. So it's just like just like skateboarding or punk rock or metal, anything else I listen to or do, it goes up and down. And you know, so I mean, dude, I grew up with these kids that we all sat in the art room. And every day I had this banging art teacher named Mr. Gilbert in high school, and he would let us just cut and sit in there all day to the point where he got in trouble because we were like in the art class from 1st to 7th, laughing and messing around, painting, using all the supplies, photography. It was awesome. And then we would leave school and go right out back on these train tracks and paint pieces. Like during the day, I'll meet you back there at 4th period and then paint till 6th, you know, like. So that was a thing. And then I got into posters, and like I said, look, like these are big screens for making posters. Here's a poster my buddy made for that toy we put out last week. We put
fucking huge, dog.
Yeah,
huge.
Here's the toy. So we made posters and we put them up all over the street. He's still putting them up. And look on this is a poster table right here. So this thing, it holds that big screen back there. And then I got stuff on here from Decon, but here's piles of posters and stuff. Like, dude, you want to hear a crazy story? See that post? All right, look, check this out. You see this? This is that poster. Hold on. I don't want to turn the photo up about, but it's a terrorist with a machine gun, right? And I made these big posters of it, right? And stickers, like in like 18. Yeah, in like 18. So I'm like dating this chick in New York, and I'm going up to New York City, and I'm paying, like, I lived up in New York a few times. I'll go up there and I'll be painting graffiti up there, and I'm putting up posters and I'm putting up stickers and I'm tattooing in Queens at my buddy's shop. And then I come home and I start making more posters. I start putting them up all over Philly, but they're coming down quick. Like I'm putting these things up at 2 in the morning and then going back at 2 in the afternoon to take a picture, and they're gone. And I'm like, what the F? So I'm at this tattoo shop one day, and I swear, the FBI calls me on the phone, and they're like, yo, this is the FBI from Philadelphia. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm like, someone's fucking with me. And the dude's like, no, seriously. Like, I got to talk to you, this cop. And I'm like, what's it about? And he's like, why don't you just come down to the office? And I'm like, no, what's it about? And he like, so I hang up on him actually. And then my dad is an ex-cop. Well, like that was on a Friday. Monday morning, they show up at my dad's because that's my address I was using at the time. So I'm like, my dad calls me. He's like, yo, dude, the FBI was just here. They won't tell me why they're looking for you, but they're headed your way to the tattoo shop. And I'm like, okay. So they get here and I'm like, dude, what could this be? Like, I'm not doing anything. I don't do nothing. I'm not a criminal. Like, what's going on? And so I'm like, yo, what's up? What? Like, they show up in suits and they pull out this folder and it's these posters. And I'm like, oh shit. And now I'm like, oh shit, it is me. And they're like, that. And they're like, is this you? And I'm like, yeah, it is me. But before you say anything, it's just an art project. And they're like, yeah, it's a kind of scary art project, ain't it? And I'm like, dude. And then he's like, I had another Instagram hooked up with some street art on it. It actually still exists. It's like in the shadows. But I said something very anti-police. And dude, he was like, yeah, well, anyway, somebody really important saw these posters and they don't know if it's a gang or a cult or a warning. And, you know, they came, I invited them in. It was like, come down. They came down here and they were like, oh shit, this is cool. And then they were like, dude, this is right before COVID and everything. And then they were like, you know, asking me questions and stuff. They were asking me about like Antifa and stuff like that, but because I guess it's very, but I'm not, and I'm not anything. But I was just like, dude, it's just an art project, and they realized it and left. But I was like, holy shit, dude! Wow. Like I didn't get in trouble, but damn, you know.
So is on your? I know on some of your stickers it says Kess One is a cult. Is that where that comes from?
Well, you know, Kess One is my name, my tag name. So, like, you know, that's just a thing. You know, I just made that up for fun. And that's another one. I just found these in a box. I thought these were gone, but it's a whole pack of these ones. Yeah, these ones.
Those are great, dude. I have some of those. Yeah, those are sick.
Dude, I don't know, man. You know, I like heavy metal and punk rock, and I hate the government, but I love our countries, and I love the people, and I just hate the man getting over. And, you know, I like skateboarding and surfing. I'm a surfer, and I surf in Jersey all winter. And, you know, like, you know, I'm just that guy, you know? I mean, shit. So I like imagery. Dude, I like political stuff, and I like human. I think I focus on human error a lot. You know, like we are awful, and like that war and just stuff we do. It's insane, and I'm just like, check this out. Look, we're doing this. I don't know, kind of. You know, so you know, it's a neat planet.
Yeah, dude, you're right, man. You're right about all that, dude. It's just it's a fucking interesting place, man.
It is.
I mean, look what you're doing, dude. I mean, fucking A, you have a toy shop connected to a tattoo shop connected to an arcade.
Did I go off the subject and shit?
No. I'm just pointing out the life of Eddie from Resin Blood is tattoos, video games, and toys, dude. I think
a
fucking a charmed life that we all wish we had.
Yeah, you know what? And people have like brought that to my attention recently. I've been complaining about some stuff and all, and people are like, dude, you know what I mean? I'm like, you're right. Like, you know, and I worked for this, dude. No one gave me this, you know, like not at all. Like I worked for this, and I have a horrible family, but I have great friends, and my business partner at the tattoo shop I've known since the early 90s, and the one from the toy store, one of them I've known since the 80s. So it's like I have this really great group of friends, and you know, I don't know, we've stuck together. So, you know, it's like I couldn't do it without them. I'm not great with money, you know, and I might look like I have money, but like you know, if you gave me $5,000 right now, I would make a Safubi, and I would like buy some toys I want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just spending money out here.
It ain't that true, man. Ain't that true? Like you were saying, dude, sometimes we have Sometimes we have family that shit, or people that are supposed to be closest to us, and then in the end, dude, it's our fucking friends that are pulling us through.
Yeah, totally. And dude, toy people.
Toy people,
Yes.
yeah. Save
Like,
my
dude, toy
fucking life,
people,
dude.
toy people, for some reason, I think even like toy people can make bad people good people or something, like, you know, and you'll get checked also in this world, you
And
know.
you know what I'm slowly learning? People who are weirded out by toy people, it's because they can't handle how just like caring and kind a true human can be. Because toy people are
Right.
fucking too kind, man. They're insanely kind. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. There's a few things going on right now that like I'm surprised, and it's cool. It's real cool, man. You know. How about this show?
Oh,
You
that's what
guys
I'm
were
talking
saying,
about, dude. This heavy
you,
metal shows, but that's gonna be off the hook, dude. There are some really, really dope artists in there.
you
Um,
guys were saying everybody's in the grind.
yeah, that's what it seems like, right? I mean, I haven't seen a lot of posts, not a lot of progress pictures. Shit, dude, my homie Hurt. I've been at his house multiple times, and I have no clue what he's working on. He's got it covered up. So, I'm
Really?
to see what what's going on, man. Yeah, I love the layout where it's a couple of people every day. It's gonna turn into a nice long show, but dude, just some incredible artists in there. That's gonna be super sick. After this
Drew,
show,
Drew,
man, what's up next for you? You got Assembly Required coming up in February, right?
yeah, I got that going on. Yeah. And I got ZoloCon the same month. And you know what? I'm doing a tattoo convention in January, but I'm bringing toys. I'm splitting the booth with Resin Blood, so I'll tattoo and have toys there. And I'm only going to tattoo toy stuff, so I'm starting to do that. Like, I just want to tattoo toy stuff. So there's some people mad at me about that, but I'm just like, you know, he can do it. I'm gonna do toy
That's
stuff.
cool, man. I mean, the piece that Fletch got at fucking at Decon was dope.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was fun.
yeah, I've seen Fat Dad's. Fat Dad's has a tattoo of a toy, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and you know, I think there's like 2 or 3 Resin Blood toys, but I mean anything: He-Man, GI Joe,
yeah.
Godzilla, you know, sci-fi. I actually had like a sci-fi art show last year where I had all these tattooers paint tattoo flash, you know, and you know, like I did it like sci-fi themed, and everybody, you know, here's some of my tattoo flash, you know, that's stuff I do. So I always throw in, you know, Godzillas and Cthulhu's and all, Terminator, you know, RoboCop.
Yeah, those are sick.
So, yeah.
Hey, am I crazy, or did you have a little bit of a role in helping Plagued Earth get into making toys?
Yeah. You know what? We both always loved toys and collected toys. And, you know, I mean, dude, I got like a Tupperware thing that has toys in it that I bought like in the late 90s and stuff. I didn't have any of my childhood toys, but I got rid of them, but like my mom did or whatever. So like I didn't hold on to many of them, but it was more like stuff I bought in my teenage years. And he used to too. He's younger than me. He worked for me like here like 10 years ago. He's a piercer. So, and then we lived together for like a year. He's my buddy, man. I've known him for a long time, and he's a good kid, you know. Very, very unique. He's definitely his own person. So, you know what I mean? I don't know anyone else like him, but you know, so yeah. And then he moved to California. He bounced around for a while. So yeah, and then he like, you know, I was making, and I just started, and I posted up like this first figure. He says he has it. I couldn't find mine today. I do have one somewhere, but dude, I took this old Terminator toy and mashed it in with this clay and all this stuff, and I posted it. and it was like my first thing, dude. It was during COVID, and I didn't know about Smooth On yet, and I was like, dude, I couldn't afford all the silicone. I was getting it from Michael's, so you get like a jar for $50, and I was like shoplifting it, and like, dude, I had to. I mean, I was like, dude, I can't pay for this anymore. Just to make one big toy, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh man. And he called me like, yo, what the fuck? Like, how'd you make that? And I was like, dude, you can buy all the stuff at Michael's, but it's a motherfucker. I got to figure out how to get large amounts of silicone. I was just so hyped to try to make a toy that I didn't even stop to like maybe research like some silicone stuff. I just was like, oh, they have it at Michael's. I'm going. I'll be right back. Like I was just like, and then he tried to do it, I think, that way, and then I got hip to Smooth On and right away and ordered everything. And then I realized it was like an hour from here. I was like, nice. I drove up there. Oh yeah, man, it's opened up a whole world. And then he was like, dude. So yeah, we just started passing back knowledge. He got super into it too right away. And yeah, then we were on the phone all the time, and him, Hella Radical, and a bunch of guys. Like, no, do this. No, you got to do this. Like, how do I make a fucking pressure pot? Like, and this is going on. This is 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So
2 years ago, yeah, man. And that's the other thing that's very cool about it, right? Is that it just seems like this whole scene is very young. I know they've been doing it for longer than 2 years. But if we look at if we saw a graph, we'd see a huge spike around 2000. And I think, in 10 years, when we look back, we'll always probably look at that spike and say, look who came up during that spike, dude. And I guess you probably categorize yourself as one of those people, as I would myself.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny it. So, I mean, I know older toy makers frown on that, I think, but too bad, dude. The toy's an open market and people love toys, so like make toys, dude, and sell them, or try to sell them. And it's not always about selling them either, but it's fun to sell and all that. But I'm just saying, never mind. But
well, no, you're right though, man. And don't you think this though too is that you were saying how the older guys kind of frown upon, the newer guys that come around, but I really think that like this newer batch of guys has a different mentality in thinking that, hey, some of this knowledge needs to be passed on to these other guys. And then when we see these guys show up that have, hardly any followers that are doing stuff, it seems to me like everybody is very supportive and saying, hey, maybe try this, or offering pointers, or we've talked about people just being open in general. But I think the mentality of today's artists in this scene at least seems a little bit different, which is, I mean, fuck, dude, that's just another cool thing about it.
Yeah.
Is that,
yeah, it is. I'm out of it. It sucks.
Oh, fuck.
But I'm still gonna put some vodka in that a little bit. Yeah. Look, I made a mini drink. Yeah, mini. Dude, I've been a part of scenes and stuff, and I've seen stuff come and go. I mean, dude, I started tattooing in 1998, and it wasn't the way it is now. And I worked for this dude. His name was Philadelphia Eddie. He's a legend. I mean, he has books out and everything. I'm in one of his books, and he mentions me and stuff. And there's a picture of me in one of his books. I was really happy about that. And it was like a street thing, like he used to say tattooing is for like the talented thug, or like, the guy that really didn't get along with everybody so well, or maybe stuck out, or didn't do so well in school, but to draw and paint or whatever. So, it was cool. But then, that meddling TV shit started. And then, so tattooing was very sacred to me. It still is very sacred to me. And then they put it on TV and it opened up, and that's fine. It's not for me to control. And so you got to keep up. You got to keep drawing and painting. You got to stay hip to what's going on. I mean, you have your own style, but I'm saying you got to stay on top of what's happening if you want to stay relevant in any world. And in this world, the toy world, it is new. and I can see even you guys, I'm like, they're smart because it's a great show. Dude, one thing I love about the show is it's fucking long. And dude, those little like, yo, go live with me for 10 minutes. You know, you're like, your heart's beating and you're like, oh, I gotta say the right stuff, shit. And like, you know, this is like, I feel fine and I don't care, you know, it's cool. So it's cool. I think it's smart you did it. You know, I do. I think it's smart. I think the show's great. I do. I think it's cool. So
thank you, man. And I think that's the first that actually makes me smile because me and Crumbs always talk about how long the show is and how painful it must be for some people. But you know, if you watch it on the replay and just kind of throw it on in the background as background fodder, if you will, it turns out to be pretty cool. But dude, I'm glad you feel comfortable, dude. I mean, that's something that we've heard before is that people say it's usually a pretty dude. We're just fucking hanging out. We're just talking shit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah. You know, the weekend where DKE goes live all weekend. I love that weekend. You know, like everyone's watching, everyone's jumping off and on. It's fun.
It's like the toy equivalent of the Super Bowl, definitely. Those kind of events really tie everybody who's not able to be present in the toy community to feel like they're participating, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey Eddie, Chrysosaurus Rex in the comments here is asking you how long your tattoo wait list is at the moment.
It isn't long at all, really. You would have to wait like a week. You know, I got a couple things this week, and you know, like I said, I don't stress myself out with anything, and I'm kind of only doing toy stuff. And dude, like I said, I've been tattooing since '98. So, and I own the shop, and I'm 45. So I'm just like, dude, there's no way I'm sitting there for 4 hours. No way on something that's going to mentally drive me nuts. So I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. And I'm glad this is a toy show and not a tattoo show, because I probably wouldn't say that on a tattoo show. But for real, like, I'm not doing another St. Michael, and like, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. Like, you know, I got guys, and I paint and draw. I had a buddy come in a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Yo, what's up, dude?" And he comes in, and dude, he wanted me to do this fucking thing on the computer that was just something I would never do. And I was like, bro, like, you're offending me. Like, oh man. I was like, you're offending me. Like, do you look at what I do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't do that, dude. So like, you reserved an appointment for this bullshit, and so here he's doing it. So, you know, and I broke up with some clients because of that, because I'm like, I don't know, I want to be comfortable, so I do what I like. So it seems to be working out, but I'm not busy like fucking all day, every day. I honestly do. The truth is I make fucking toys, and that's what I do all fucking day. So, and I do okay. So,
absolutely, dude. A quick question for you. So you were saying, as far as tattoos go, you feel like you kind of got to stay on top of things and kind of, you know, stay up to the times, I guess it would be, as far as tattoo design. Do you feel the same way about toys at all? I mean, I think that there's a lot of people or, you know, I think a lot of the toys that we see are based on current events. I don't think yours are. I mean, you have a couple pieces that are related to history, right? Like the UFO and then the drug lords and stuff like that. The heroin guys, but
the Holy Wars.
yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that stuff's all timely, and it's just, you know, kind of about historical events. But a lot of your other stuff is just, it's not. Do you think there's any type of, I don't want to say pressure, but is that something that you keep in mind when you're making toys, or is toys you're just like, that looks dope, I'm gonna fucking make that shit right now?
Dude, a lot of times it bounces like in a 4-way bounce. Like, I'm like, dude, I love that head. Oh shit, I could do this. Oh my God, I could do the card back like this. I'm doing it. Boom, done. Yeah. Get what I'm saying? Like, and that's the love I have for card backs and figure. That's the love I have for the figure thing. It's like, it's more than a fucking figure. It's the best. And dude, I'm not talking shit on anyone else, but you can tell the people that like aren't as good at certain things and blah, 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 including myself. And like, you know, yeah, it's a strong thing. It's more, and dude, you know what I don't do? And I'm embarrassed to say, but I don't make my own blisters, and I want to make my own blisters. I got to get jumping on it. It's like one thing at a time. But I'd really like to make my own blisters, dude. If you can make, I just don't do that yet, and it's something that I think would 100% my figures. You know.
Like vacuum forming, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And, you know, actually there's a place around the corner, like there's these industrial parks around here. And there's a place that like has all that stuff. Someone just told me that. I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, you got to go over there. So I'm going to go check it out soon. But, you know, it's another project and another dollar. So I just like, I got to do one thing at a time.
Yeah. Yeah. Dope.
Vinyl, dude, vinyl. That my mind's on vinyl. So, and has been. And Drew too, like Drew and me always love Safubis. So, you know, I'm sorry, maybe.
Who's gonna pull your vinyl?
Well, the first one's getting made by Mile High.
Nice. Very cool. That's what I was gonna ask. That's sick.
Yeah. And I'm just waiting for it. There's been some issues in China, you know.
Yeah. Did you meet Mile High at Decon? I know they were there last year and this year.
Yeah, that is where I met him. And then I asked him the questions and all, and then I went for it. And you know, like, so you know, I mean, you know, this toy here, you know, I think it's neat, you know. And you know, I sculpted it from the ground up and all. It's just like a weird monster. You know, if I did it now, I would do it different because this was a year ago. And now I was telling Barbarian Rage, I'm like, dude, I sculpted it right. I sculpted this exactly a year ago, right before Christmas, when I got home from Decon. And then like I sat on it for a couple months. I was making them in resin, like this is hollow. So it's rotocasted, it's neat. And then I went to Decon and I took like 6 of them with me. And when I opened up my booth, they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right off the table. Was my first 6 sales. I was like, holy shit. People like, I guess it was a very vinyl crowd. So they were like, oh, that's cool. It's not actually vinyl, but it's cool. So I'll take it. So, you know, and then I was like, okay, I asked Last Resort. I was like, do you think I should make this? And he's like, yeah, it's cool. Make it. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to make it. So I made it. So, but it's not here yet. And now I'm getting the Speed Skull made. I'm going to get that made through another person that me and Drew are dealing with, that we keep on the DL, but we have you know, the big Speed Skull, this one.
Yeah. Those are dope.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna get it downsized. I just got it 3D scanned. You know, I was gonna resculpt it online, but like I have been messing around with that also with 3D sculpting. And but I'm not good enough yet. Like I gotta do hand. Like I want to do the real thing. So you know, that's how I made this, but I got it scanned. So you know, I was talking to those guys next to us at Decon, Toxic Fume and all. They had all those like big Ninja Turtles and all.
Yeah. Yep.
And that guy was like, why don't you just 3D sculpt it? Like redo it. And I was like, you're right. I mean, that would probably work best. But, you know, I wasn't happy with what I was doing when I did. I got the head perfect and I was reworking the body. And at the same time, I sent this to a guy in California, and he's doing some stuff. I don't know, Star Wars stuff, but and he sent the file back to me. So I'm going to get it sent, but I'm going to get it downsized, maybe like this big, you know, like a little smaller. Yeah. You think?
Nice.
You know?
Those are dope.
Yeah. You know,
well,
I
think
stuff.
Crumbsy, do we have Drew in the waiting room?
Yeah, we've got Plagued Earth chilling with us here now. You guys cool if I pull him in?
Yeah.
Cool, Plagued Earth, I'm gonna pull you in, man. So if you're chilling, put your pants on, get on in here. Man, Eddie, dude, I need some of your energy, Resin Blood, homie. You need to fucking start shipping some of your energy in a bottle out. My fucking goodness.
Well, I'm assuming that he's just walking around the room, but everybody's saying it looks like he's in an underground bunker, like walking 7 miles. Drew, baby.
Shit, they're coming in. Forget it. You remember these from Laser Tag?
That's
from the
dope.
80s? Isn't that dope, dude? I want a real gun like this. Or like a laser, you know?
Old school. That's awesome.
he coming?
Thanks, Earth, man. Thanks for coming in, dude. Sorry that it took so long for us to drag you on in here. Glad to have you come on in, man. How you doing?
Technical.
I'm sure we'll get that come back in a second.
Yeah, I can't hear him, but should I turn my TV on? It's all right. Give it a minute.
Oh, you're good, man. I love how now you're just playing with the fucking laser tag gun. That thing's huge, man.
Where did you get that, dude?
At the toy store, man. This guy brought it in. I swear.
Nice.
Dude, I could show you, man. If I go down the basement of the toy store, there's just bins of toys.
That's
So
funny.
you guys got to come out here, dude. I'm telling you, listen, I know it's a little too early now because it's in February, but in February, there's ZoloCon. And Barbarian Rage is doing it this year with me. We have a booth there. And he has a lot of custom dudes that do the show. Muscleloids does the show.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, it's going to be a bootleg contest or contest, like a custom toy contest he has every year. And with my store being down the street, we want to have like an art show thing. So I'm trying to get people involved in it because it is kind of like a different kind of toy show. It's like a very He-Man crowd. You know, Zolo does Realm of the Underworld.
Yes.
You know that toy? On here? He does these also.
Yes. Yep. I have a couple of those.
He's a legit dude, you know, and he makes great stuff. He comes here sometimes. He likes it here. He's always like, dude,
oh, it's dope.
But yeah.
Drew, what's happening?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
I can hear you now.
Okay. I've never done the Zoom thing. What's
oh
up?
My God,
I'm almost home. My
driving.
bad. Dude, I was propped up. I thought you guys wanted me on at 9 my time. I was like, oh, fuck. And I still had these 2 girls that I had to pierce. And I was like, yo, I'm not trying to be creepy, but can I set my phone up and just prop it up here? Because I think I screwed time zones up. It's a toy show. It's nothing weird. And they were like, is it for tattoos? And I was like, no. And I pointed at my wall and I was like, I make these weird toys. I'm supposed to be talking about it. And is it cool? Just in case I got to pop in there. And they were like, yeah, all right. So I was way off. I was like an hour early. But
thanks for jumping on, man.
I'm cruising home. I'm going to hold the phone to my ear. It's a little loud. What'd you say?
Oh, those time zones are a mess, man. It always ends up causing a bit of confusion.
Dude, I was
about that,
mortified. I thought I missed it again by a long shot. And I was like, these dudes are too fucking cool and nice to be doing this too.
See, that's how we feel. We're sitting here mortified, being like, oh my fuck, man. This guy probably thinks we're assholes.
Why, did you miss one before, Drew?
Yeah, I did, dude, and I was so embarrassed. And the irony is that I'm sitting at home at my kitchen table, twiddling my fingers, and I was like, I wonder if I might have got it wrong. And I went on YouTube in my bedroom, and they were just, oh wait, am I still here? Yeah. Yep. They were just wrapping it up, and I was like, oh no, and yeah, I felt like an idiot. I thought I did it twice. All the dudes at work, my boss was signing these 2 girls up, and I was like, yo, don't. I was like, I got to be on this show. I was like, I fucked up again. And he knew when I fucked up the first time, and he was like, oh no, is it the same dudes? I was like, it's the same dudes.
So, well, yeah. and to your credit, we're dealing with 3 different time zones here. I'm on the West Coast, you're in the Central. Crumbs and Resin Blood are on the East Coast time. So if you ask me what time something is, and then you ask Crumbs the same thing, you're going to get a different answer. And then
we're cross country right now. We're covering all bases.
Exactly, man.
Just a heads up, I'm on a road. I might start going in and out a little bit, but once I'm home, I'll have strong connection.
Oh, dude, yeah, we'll pull you in. Absolutely, man. No worries whatsoever.
Word, appreciate it. This has been very I've been watching, I've been driving and listening, and I'm enjoying listening to Eddie talk about old stories and toys. It's rad.
Yo,
what a legend, dude.
I haven't had a chance to ask both of you, so I really want to ask both of you, what is like a fond memory of one of your like favorite toys growing up? What would probably be like the toy?
Good question. You know what I really liked? I liked those Stretch Armstrong like remember that? I don't know the name of it, but I just saw some toy maker post one today. The orange one. The big Stretch Armstrong orange dude.
I did.
That was like,
dude.
as a kid, I was obsessed with that thing. And I never had it. My friend did. I didn't. Loved
Who
it.
was that? Somebody, yeah.
The cornstarch eventually dries up though. And then the fucking limbs snap, man.
Yeah, the
remember
dude
that?
was talking and he was like, it's in good condition. It still scratches and holds form. And I was like, holy shit. Because I have a buddy that collects them. I have a friend at work that has one, but you can't really fuck with it or you'll, I guess, screw it up. But yeah, this one was pretty prime.
Yeah, you see, like, I was a G.I. Joe guy, but you know what? Like, I got these 2 Bill and Ted toys, and I bought these toys when I was a kid. And I like remember these toys so much, man. I don't know why. I remember my boys made fun of me for buying. I remember these non-toy punk kids I was hanging out with were like, "You're still buying fucking toys?" And I was like, "Fuck up," you know. But yeah, I still have them, man. I love them, man.
I went through a brief period when I was a little, I guess, quote unquote, too old for toys. And I'd go into the store and buy them and be like, I hope my fucking cousin really likes this. Kind of kick myself for that. Now I'm like, just embrace it, Drew. You should have just embraced you at that point in time. Maybe like 13. Too cool.
Yeah, there could be a whole episode about that, about turning into a teenager and feeling weird about still loving toys.
I still feel weird
That'd
about
make
it.
for a good one.
Guys, let's be totally honest here. We will always feel embarrassed to some degree inviting someone into our homes when we have to be like, okay, I know you know I'm a bit weird, but you're about to see like I'm kind of fucking weird. Right?
Me and my girl just last night were watching 40-Year-Old Virgin, and she was like, "Oh, babe, it's like you. He's got all the toys."
It's like
yeah, but
you.
Yeah, it was a good one. And I was like, he's got that cool creature head. He's got a big creature head on top of one of his glass cases. And she's like, and you have that case. And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm fucking young Steve Carell.
Yeah. Isn't that funny, man? That 40-Year-Old Virgin, that's like the go-to for everybody. They'll send that to me like, hey, have you seen this movie? Yeah, motherfucker, I've seen that movie. I've seen about it.
Yeah, but Drew, for you, it would be like, 14-year-old virgin.
Yeah, I was gonna. So that's what I said to my girl, and she's like, "It's like." She was like, "It's like you." I was like, "Yeah, but I fucked." I was like, "But I would feel just like Steve Carell if I went that long without it. I'd probably be just the same." I like when he's painting miniatures and talking to them about his problems. I love that part.
You know what's funny is actually one of my favorite parts is a book by an author here in Toronto. He's one of my favorite authors, Seth, and he's got a book that has nothing to do with toys. But the dude in the book at one point is trying to write, and then all of a sudden it goes to a panel of one of the toys on the wall, and it's just like a speech bubble with dots. And then Buddy's just like, not now. And then like one of the other toys has a speech bubble with dots, and he's like, can't you guys just leave me alone? I'm trying to get work done. And you're like, yo, no, that's life, man. You look at the toys, they're staring at you, like telling you, like, get work done, motherfucker. You're like, yeah, okay, yeah, fuck, okay.
It's kind of funny. That's like how it is in real life when you make toys. You're looking at your toys and you're like, I gotta fucking make toys because my toy career is depending on me to make toys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bro, so what brought on this the Happy Hanukkah show or the heavy metal Hanukkah? We got that started in the next few days. What a stellar lineup, dude. Congratulations.
I'm so stoked on it.
Yeah.
You know, dude, to be totally honest with you, I was just pacing around at work. I caught a tiny shit. Oh wait, no, that's not me. I'm here still, right?
Yep. Yeah. Good to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I saw the screen loading, but it was just Crumbs putting up the flyer. Oh, the video at the Hasidic dude's awesome. I was just walking around at work and I was thinking, I just the thought popped in my head. I was like, I could probably do an art show. I was like, I could probably do it like scraps. And I put together a group chat and I thought about hitting everybody up and being like, I'm thinking about putting on this art show, but I didn't. I was just like, yo, everybody, I'm putting on this art show. And I thought it'd be a good idea. And I wanted to hit you guys up because I like you guys. And some of you guys I I really dig. Some of you guys I look up to. Some of you guys are new, and I am interested in your stuff. And if you're down, I'd be down. And then, dude, it blossomed so fucking fast. It was nuts. I couldn't believe the response, and people were so hyped. And yeah, within like a night, maybe into the next day, I had like 28 dudes. I think so. I think one or two of them might have fell out, but yeah, I had like 28 dudes from like 3 or 4 different countries involved, and dudes making flyers, and it was real on a whim. I got to give it to Scott though. He was like, "Can I just make a suggestion?" Barbarian Rage was like, "It's Hanukkah." He's like, "You could do like each night of Hanukkah," and I was like, "That's fucking brilliant." I was like, how did I not fucking think of that?
Yeah, yeah. And it's going to be so much better and longer, you know?
Yeah, it's great. It's 8 nights of new toys that nobody's ever seen, and it's awesome. And I don't want to give anybody's shit away, but some of the dudes in this show are putting out. I've seen some sneak peeks. I'm not going to say anything about them besides some dudes. I'm like, damn, this is going to be a fucking cool show. Like, these toys are sick. So I'm very, very hype on it.
Some of the names you got for this show are all over the place, man. Like you kind of mentioned, where it's like some huge dogs you look up to for a long ass time, and some new blossoming talent that is just kind of like blowing us all away with coming out of the gate strong, man.
Yeah, you know, there's this one dude in there, and I noticed he made stuff. My girlfriend did, actually. She was like, "Look at this," and it was a sculpture, and I was like, "Whoa!" It was like this mushroom with teeth. Pocket salsa. I think he was kind of newer, but we bought that from him, and he thanked us a lot. And then he made some posts about how he was stoked that other artists were stoked on his stuff, and all of a sudden, dude, he was on fire, just making. And then he sent me and my girl a box, like a 25-pound box of bones, and he was like, "I thought you guys would like this, because your girl makes bone jewelry." It's like, my girl works with resin, but in a lot more, I'd say in a much more tasteful and multimedia manner than I do. And just out of the kindness of his heart, he shipped out a lot of bones that wasn't cheap to ship out. And I was like, this dude's awesome. And I invited him, and he's stoked. And there's just a lot of different types of talent in this show. And I'm very excited and very grateful that everybody was like so stoked to do this. So yeah, it was really just on a whim. I was like, I think I'd like to do this. I'm gonna do this art show, and everyone was like, sick, when, awesome, cool.
It all bounced off each other.
Yeah, it was great. And then other people started having ideas and talking about, you know. I'm sorry, I can barely hear. I'm like getting out of my car. I should have a better connection once I step inside.
No problem, man.
And it's stoked. I'm stoked to be doing it with Eddie. It's just pretty fucking awesome to have all these friends from all over the world doing it. My real life friend that makes toys. It's another thing that was cool. It's like Ed was mentioning earlier. I just noticed on his Instagram one day, it was like during the lockdown. And I was at the time sculpting this sculpture really, and hoping that I could turn it. I had no idea anything about toy making. And I called a couple companies. One of my buddies is kind of in with some of the Kid Robot dudes, and he's like, "You can call these guys." So I call them, and I send them pictures. It was like a toy. It was like a Xanax bar with Mickey Mouse arms, but it came apart in the middle. And instead of the scores of the pill being ZANAX, it was fear. I wanted to make it say fear with like a little Mickey Mouse smile. And I got quoted, like, I think they were like, well, it'd be a 2-part toy. You'd have to do 300. And it'd be like, I think it was some outrageous astronomical number, like 12 grand. And I was like, yes, and I guess I'm not making toys. And then it was like, maybe just within the next couple of days, I see Eddie post this thing on his Instagram, and it's this little toy on his dashboard. And I was like, you making toys? And he was like, yeah, dude, you're not going to fucking believe it. Like, you can do this, and you can go here, and you can just get this. And I was like, no fucking way. I've been trying to fucking make a toy. And yeah, it was so exciting after so many years of knowing each other. I'm like, I can't believe one of my friends is doing this right now. So it's cool. It's exciting. And it's also kind of surreal just to be doing cool stuff. with so many people all over the place, and this whole new community that I've grown to love and have a real life friend in it. It's awesome. I hope this is something rad.
Isn't that nice?
And
I
also,
love Eddie. Eddie's done a lot for me.
Thank you.
Man,
Gave me a place to live. He also woke me up one day. Oh wait, let me turn my Wi-Fi on. Oh, it's on. Awesome. Yeah, one day I woke up and he's like, dude, the house is on fire. Dude, get up. The house is on fire. Get the fuck out of the house. And my bedroom window backed up to a deck. So I like dive out the window, and him and his son, little Eddie, are just cracking up. Clearly the house was not on fire. But yeah, it's cool just watching Ed, you know, walking around the shop. It's like in my youth, I'd spent, oh, hey, babe. I spent, it's you right there. I spent a long time in that shop, and I'm honestly kind of bummed out that at this junction in my life, I can't be in Eddie's toy paradise. When I was there, it was a tattoo shop with a Papa John's next to it, which was cool. But now it's a tattoo shop with a toy factory basement and a toy store next door. And I'm just like, fuck, that would be great. It'd be great to just be piercing people all day and walk downstairs and make toys all like just centrifugally, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sometimes dreams come true, Drew. You know what I mean?
What'd you say?
Sometimes dreams come true. You know what I mean?
They can. That they
You
can.
Come home.
Eddie is always like, come home. Just come home. I wish I could pack up my whole life and everything I have here and bring it back. It would be cool.
Yeah, it would. But
Drew,
I don't think.
do you live on the coast out there in Texas?
No, I'm in the dead middle of it, and it's my biggest pet peeve about it. It's not so bad. I got this big lake that I live on, but I don't really go down there and play around in it or anything. But yeah, I'm in the very middle of Texas.
I've seen some of your posts before, and dude, it looks that view that you have of that lake looks beautiful sometimes. And I thought it was on the coast, but you're right dead middle. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, I got very, very lucky. I don't know how it happened, but I needed a new place to live. And my boss was like he's always in the looking for place. And he's like, what about this? And it was at the time like astronomically cheap. And I was like, that can't be real. And I went out to see it, and there was this old foreign landlord who didn't give a fuck about my credit. And he was like, yeah, it's yours. I love you like son. And that was it. And unfortunately, he's kind of a terrible landlord and does not love me like a son, but I love the place enough to stay here until it gets too expensive to leave. Yeah, you can't really see it. It's but yeah, right out there would be the lake. This is where I do all my fucking shit. After I had that, that's another thing I wanted to bring up, that whole fucking resin thing that happened where I had poison oak from it. But yeah, I do all my like airbrushing out here. And ever since outside. I did have that weird crazy reaction from fucking resin, I started pouring out here. Unfortunately, I ruined this table that my girl already made cool stuff with resin on.
So tell me about that. Tell us about that. What happened?
So
with that?
yeah, I wanted to bring this up because it's honestly a pretty important pivotal moment in toy making for me. I was just incredibly immersed, and I was listening. Well, I don't want to say watching while I was driving, but I was listening to the show. And, you know, Ed talking about how he just became obsessed. And I think we both definitely share a bit of a background where obsession will always kind of be a thing for us. And I, for a long time, relatively long time, just manically made toys before I, met my girlfriend. And, GiGi'd go to bed and I would just stay up all night through the morning making toys, and I'd stay up. And I just didn't stop. But I also didn't like wear a mask or do anything outside. And one day GiGi had this guitar lesson. My buddy gives her guitar lessons. And I'm making this creature toy. It was a very short-lived toy, but it's like half a torso of a creature. It was like the black creature, the Black Metal Lagoon V2, I called it. But anyway, I was making one of those just at my desk. At the time, I had no fucking air conditioning, so I'm making it no shirt on or anything. And I'm talking to my buddy Carson. All of a sudden, I feel it creep up on me, and I'm just like, something's happening. Like I'm having like a severe allergic reaction. So I cut him off, and I'm like, yeah, dude, something's bad that's happening to me, and my face is all swollen. Anyway, I got to take GiGi back to her mom's. So by the time I get there, I'm talking to her mom like this because my throat is getting tight and my heart's getting real fluttery. Anyway, it dawned upon me what I think happened. And I think I had like a gross overexposure to resin. And for anybody watching this that doesn't wear stuff while making toys, I think this is all something to consider, because I know we all love this a lot. And needless to say, when that happened, I was scared, not of the allergic reaction, but of my future with resin. So I go online and I start looking up, overexposure to resin. I end up on these forums with all these old dudes that fucking like used to work in boat yards. I guess they use a lot of resin on the bottom of boats. And it's a bunch of old retired dudes that are like, yeah, once it happens, you can never touch it again. You'll just get more allergic and more allergic. And dude, I was fucking crushed. I remember telling my mom, and she was like, it's okay, you're creative, you'll figure something else out. But I was like, just like any of us would be, I was like, I don't want to do, like, I want to make toys in my house. That's all I want to fucking do. But anyway, there was a silver lining to that for sure. And this is what it was. I learned how to make toys. Eddie gave me some advice. I started working with this engineer, real weird dude that took me under his wing. I don't know why. I didn't even pay him. Taught me how to make molds. And anyway, I start making some stuff that is important to me, that I like. And then all of a sudden, I'm making anything I can make. I'm just excited to have gallons of silicone and gallons of resin, and I'm making a ton of stuff. And at one point, I start to think to myself, and this is something I've honestly struggled to even come to terms with to say publicly, but I started to think to myself, did I shoot myself in the foot by overextending myself and hitting so many different areas of toy making? Like, should I have stuck with one style? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? And anyway, I took a couple weeks off from touching resin. I figured once I started feeling better, because I felt shitty for like 3 days after that, I was like, once I start feeling better, I'm going to buy all this shit that everybody tells you to buy anyway when you're making toys to keep yourself safe. And I'm going to see what happens. If I have another allergic reaction, I'll fucking maybe get someone to cast my shit for me. But I started, this is the important part. I started thinking to myself, what did I start doing this for? Why did I start doing this? And I thought back, and just like Ed was saying, like, we both always loved Sofubi. And when I started doing this, I wanted to make vinyl toys, and it just seemed so far out of my reach. I had no connections. And even if I did, who would I be? Like some dude that's never made anything? But at this point, I have a name and I have things that I'm reputable enough. And I started thinking to myself, I never wanted to make some of the things I made. I just made them out of fear of losing momentum. I just wanted to make, even if it's shit that I've never shown anybody. And I was like, I wanted to make fucking weird figures. That's where Boogers came from. Boogers, and it's like, Crumbs, you mentioned this, and I really appreciated that you said this. Boogers reminded you of like a Sofubi-esque, like maybe kaiju-ish weird little monster. And that's another reason I like Boogers, is he looked like that. The Sliz Hunter, he looks like he may as well be vinyl. So I was like, I want to make my own weird fucking toys. I want to carve my own lane, make my own weird shit. If you dig it, cool. If you don't, I'm still happy that it's been made. So I was just like, I can either throw in the towel and not make toys, or I can fucking set my bar higher and I can fucking take the risk and get my feet wet in vinyl. And I got very lucky because my fucking respirator came in and I got nitrile gloves and, put a jacket on, and I can still successfully make resin toys too. So a really positive seed of an equivalent benefit stemmed from that allergic reaction. I did something that I've always wanted to do that I almost lost sight of at one point, just from being manically making toys constantly. And I still do that. It's just I found a little bit more of a rhythm, and I started to, I'd say, beat to more of the drum of why I started doing this in the first place. So yeah, there's that story. Well, I thought that would be a good one to mention on here. Some people think I still can't make resin. I do, just not as manically at my desk until 8 a.m. anymore.
You brought up something as well that I'm just going to ride on that same coattail real quick, because you brought up the breathing fact that you were noticing the breathing, and right away my brain had to think of the fact that, like, even when you're sanding, guys, especially, like, I know a lot of you dudes are like just fucking dremeling for hours. Wear your fucking respirator, because there's a lot of particulate that you're putting into the air. And the other thing is,
from what I understand, those flakes are more harmful. And I got in 2016, I got diagnosed with this weird thing. Oops, am I still here? Yeah. Called pulmonary sarcoidosis, and it's like where you get these weird little growths on your lungs, and it's rare, and doctors don't know how it starts or how it ends, but they have one theory, and it's just strange metal or plastic particulates getting into your lungs. So for all I know, maybe it was that. I don't know. I've been in a steady remission. Like, I had an appendectomy during the lockdown. It was bullshit. But during that, they were like, yeah, your lungs look pretty much clear. And that was 4 years after. And I was like, oh, that's exciting. I feel like shit, but that's exciting. But for all I know, who knows? Maybe that allergic reaction was just a flare up that I had. It's like an autoimmune thing. But yeah, those flakes, apparently, if not more, sometimes harmful than just the fumes that you can't smell half the time unless you're using crazy polyurethane shit.
Yeah, that's what fucks me up.
Those products basically, once you disturb them, they start producing like an off-gassing, right? You've basically changed the chemical composition that they originally had formed the moment you start sanding and opening up all that shit. And even I would say, like, wet sand, if you can. I know a lot of dudes, when they get like in and close, they start like not caring about the respirator, and they're just doing like little fine sanding details. But like wet sand, if you can, that's going to limit some of the particulate that's floating up in the air. But also, Mekaducky asked for the boogers. Yo, dude, I haven't had a chance to actually thank you in person for these. These instantly went up on the Grail shelf, man. I love everything about them. They're fucking way bigger than I expected. I can't express how grateful that I am to have them in the collection, to be honest with you.
It makes me feel happy that anybody, especially someone like you who really values a toy for all that encompasses one, that it means something to you. It's very surreal to me to even, sorry, I'm not, when for some reason, my phone audio is real low. Every time you talk, I just put my ear up to it so I can hear you. I'm not like ignoring you with the side of my face. But it's very surreal to see people holding boogers. It's like there's this picture, and I wish I could find it. It's floating around somewhere in my fucking 40,000 iCloud pictures. But it's me, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm like just pointing down at this little dude on this little tricycle, and it was not too long later that I ripped him off of it and discovered his little ding dong. And it's nuts. I think boogers is in like 3 different countries, and even if it was only here and one other person owned it, I'd be like, that's so fucking nuts that somebody else has a boogers. Your recap of it was chilling. I was laying in bed with my girlfriend watching the show on TV, and when you were like, nah, dude, you were like, Plagued Earth is piss and boogers. That's what it is. That's what it reminds me of. And then you had this total recall of the booger story like no one I've ever heard. And it chilled me to such a degree where I was like, I got to put them back on my store. And I had to send a can of boogers after that. I was like, this dude deserves a boogers more than anyone that I know.
Make them exist again.
I love it. I thought about making, and you know what? Pocket Salsa actually mentioned, he said he was going to some antique market. And he was like, if anybody wants me to look out for anything. And I was like, if you find any little boys on trikes, you want me to show you guys something? If I have it, I tried to make a Boogers 2.0, but I destroyed it by accident. I might have just hyped you up for nothing. It might be totally gone now, but I found another little boy on a trike and I sculpted on him and I gave him a little drill hand and like a cyborg, like one of his eyes was replaced with like mecha stuff. But I threw it under pressure before I understood that pressure would totally cave his skull in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him, but if I do see him tonight, I'll pull him up. But yeah, I want to take another whack at it by filling it with either clay or resin and then sculpting over that. And then, molding and casting it. But a Boogers 2.0 has been in my, something I've been thinking about for a long time.
Would you vinyl Boogers, do you think?
I've considered that too. And I have a bit of a duality with that. I've thought about doing vinyl Sliz Hunter. Because it's like, I don't know. When I look at this toy is a weapon. Like this toy is like a billiard ball. Like you could hurt somebody with it. Beyond that, though, it takes a lot of resin. I thought for a while about rotocasting it the way Eddie did with the Wampbot. I love that toy. That's like one of my favorite things that ever made. But I kind of don't want to, I don't think it would be taking a step backwards by any means, but I have all these new ideas and these new sculpts. And I think some of those toys would make great vinyl. And maybe one day they will be. I don't want to say they won't, but right now I'm like hyper focused on my current sculpts. I think Eddie might have mentioned this when he was talking about, maybe he was talking about the Wampbot or something, but he said something to the tune of like, you're getting it done or you're making this, but you're already kind of like over it and you're on to your next thing. And I've had toys that I've made, even some of my vinyl, it's like by the time I get it in the mail and start painting it, I already have this other sculpt that I'm way more excited about. So I kind of just want to focus, honestly, what I want to focus on, another thing Eddie mentioned, and Eddie preaches this to me, and it's the truth. It's like, you got to slow down on the sculpts for your important stuff like that, like the vinyl. My goal right now, I'm really stoked to have pumped out 3 vinyl toys. Luckily, it's another bit of good news I have. The Sliz Destroyer, my biggest and last Sophobia this year, is in Anchorage, Alaska. It's made its way to the US. It was stuck in Japan for like fucking 4 days, and I was really bummed out about it because I'm obsessively check the tracking. But my goal now is sort of to work against my nature and sculpt very slowly, and not just sculpt very slowly, but sculpt a lot. Sculpts in a way to whether it's with my hands or whether it's 3D. Next time I make a vinyl, I'm trying to push myself to wait at least some odd amount of months, whether it be 3 or 6. And I want to choose from like 10 of what I consider to be my best sculpts, because I'm also in that way like Ed, where I have an idea. And whether it's resin or sculpting, it's like I stay up all night making. It's like I want it to be, I can't wait to get to the point where I can cast it or paint it. And I go fast. And I wish in a lot of ways I was more like Kerf. And I think I need to find like a middle ground. And that's kind of my new goal. After the Sliz Destroyer comes out, I'm going to make a bunch of one-offs of it. Then I'm going to try to not slow down on making toys, but slow down on sculpting in particular.
You hit something I think a lot of makers actually deal with, and I've actually had this conversation with a lot of makers, that idea that you're almost concerned if you don't do it now or act on it now, you're going to get bored of the idea. So you just got to fucking be like pumping. And I would say it's definitely something very admirable that Kerfloss can do, where he kind of takes you along. But he also surprises you, because like there's been times where I think he's working on something and he's still at the sculpting stage, and he's already got it molded and casted and just busting out like 30
Yeah.
full figures.
Yeah, that's true. I've had that too with him, where I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, he's meticulous and he takes his time in a very admirable, like a really impressive way. But yeah, sometimes you'll see him like make a handful of molds of the same. I think he did that one time. He like made a handful of molds of the same figure, but like busted out. Maybe it was one of the versions of that Gator toy, but I was like, whoa, that's that happened a lot faster than your live videos would have led me to believe that it might have. That dude is sick though. I love what he just made. It's right up my alley. The what's it called? The Goth Rebel Soldier.
Yeah, the Goth Rebel Soldier, absolutely. Yeah.
I was really excited about that. I was like, that's so up my alley. That's so cool of him to do that.
It's very
Make a little coffin for it.
It's a very solid feeling piece, man. I just saw Hella is casting those right now.
Yeah, I just saw that too. I think it's really cool too that he takes a liking to like certain artists, just like he did with Eddie and Hella, and you know, had him paint the toys. That other figure was immaculate. That what was it, the Prospect?
Yes.
Yeah, the
He
mule,
is so
the number
fucking
2.
cool.
Yo, B, did you pick up one of them Hoff guys that he had at Decon?
Yes, I did.
You have it right there?
Yes, I do. Let me grab it.
It's a fucking cool toy, man.
We don't have
I
a
felt like
recorder anymore, do we?
I felt like a jackass. I didn't get that.
Dude, and even the packaging, right? That packaging stick. He was making that there, and it's just got a little cut in there that the bubble comes off. And then you got the coffin style.
Oh, you got one. Awesome.
Yeah, right where the sombrero is, where the face is. It's kind of hard to see on there, but
it's funny how I like how he did that with the face. You just see the corpse paint on it, basically.
Absolutely, dude. That's exactly what you see. It's static, but I've always said, man, this one feels like it's almost like a metallic feel to it because of the weight of it, and it's cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it almost feels like it's metal. It's sick, dude. This is a sick piece. The paintwork on here is fucking incredible.
So rad.
Yeah, when he painted it up, it really came together. I was like, okay, I see what he's doing here. It's awesome.
I love that it's one piece, right? There's no articulation, right?
Right. Solid.
Well, when you
It's
think
awesome.
of a toy soldier back in the day.
Yeah.
Absolutely, dude. That's a great point, Crumbs. I never thought about that. It's got the feel of an old die cast fucking toy soldier. Dude, the paint on here, fuck, man. I don't even know if you can see it on the camera, but there's like silver studs on his paint that are like.
Did he cast it out of something other than resin?
No, it's resin. It's just got a really weird feel to it, dude. And
I'm wondering if it's the finish.
It could be the finish too. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's fucking crazy, man. You know what's crazy, dude? It's like it's all black, right? But there's definitely parts on it where I think he did like a matte black, and then other parts where he did something with a little bit of gloss in it.
To switch it up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, like his pants are black leather and he's got a black leather belt, but you can definitely tell what's what. You know what I mean? There's definitely a difference between those.
Yeah.
I've seen that a few times.
Sick ass piece.
Actually, use a matte gloss and also a super gloss, and then they'll actually add some details with that. And it's crazy what a difference it can make between like little like things, man. And also, not to like digress too much, but we were talking about the molds that he'll kind of like spread out there. I know for a fact Hella's dropping these tomorrow. He shared these with me earlier. And they're basically going to be like Hella radical color versions of the Hoth Rebel Soldier. I don't know if Kerf has given them out to other people, but it's cool to me how he does that, man. Like, he understands that.
Yeah, I like that.
It kind of involves other people on like an opportunity to play around with his molds. And I've heard that apparently his molds are fucking glorious to play with.
It was always interesting to me. I've seen him. Am I still good here? Am I coming through?
Oh,
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I had a sound off button on that made you guys real quiet this whole time. I have
Oh.
no reason to hold my phone up to my ear anymore. But I've seen him post a handful of times about how he absolutely hates One Piece molds, and I totally understand that. But yeah, I find it interesting. I find it kind of ironic because of how incredibly skilled and obviously it doesn't detract from his skill or anything, but the dude does not like One Pieces by any means. And I always saw a little ironic humor in that. Just because you'd figure Kerf would have this formula of like making the perfect One Piece. That's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if anything, Kerflaw's journey with making a toy was basically he decided one day it was like, I want to learn something new. I've got some free time that I didn't have before. What would I think would be cool? I want to learn how to sculpt and make an action figure. Well, how did the guys at Kenner do it? And so where a lot of people followed craftsmen and figured out how to like make a mold and make a casting of a figure, Kerfloss became obsessed with the idea of sculpting a hollow body figure like the old fucking Kenners.
Yeah, it's amazing to me, really. Just the little armature kits he has. I remember when I first started following him, it was like very early on in making toys, and it was just almost like listening to a Japanese audiobook. Like I had no idea what he was talking about, and I was like, this is so incredibly fucking involved. And I slowly but surely started to, but there's still things that go right over my head about what that dude does. It's really impressive. I really do love his style, though, of involving you in his journey every time. It's really cool. It's cool that he does that for people.
Well, it's admirable, man. I think every artist has said it's hard when you're in the throes of the creative juices to suddenly like pause and document.
Oh yeah, dude. I had this idea at one point after seeing how Rainbow Yawn, who I'm also very stoked to have on the show. I'm assuming he's gonna make something really fucking cool. I noticed he had a lot of TikTok followers, and I didn't even have a TikTok. I've always not even really wanted a TikTok. And then I was like, well, I'm really just hurting myself not to create opportunity to get new eyes on my work. So I'll make a TikTok. Anyway, the next thing I do is Google, like, how do you gain a following on TikTok? And it was like, well, typically you got to post like 5-6 videos a day. And I'm thinking about the reels, because at one point I was really into making reels of my process and putting a cool song behind it. I still do enjoy it, but even just like filming and setting up your phone because you got resin all over your hands, and it's hard to do that. And then you got to put the whole video together. And I was thinking to myself, there's no way in the world I could there's definite I could make God knows how many toys in a day if I'm using 325 that cures in 15 minutes, but there's no way I could create enough content to actually get my shit rolling on TikTok. I would have to do those stupid dance challenges that cringe me out, and I can't do that. I won't do that. So the fact that he does involve you, but he doesn't involve you in the way I involve people. It's like the way I involve people is with little clips here, there. Like I just reposted in my story when I made that Piss of Mine toy for Earth to Kentucky. I made a clever little reel. I cast the toy. I'm standing by my pressure pot. I flip it off. I go to take a piss. And I take the video as if I piss out the toy, and I pull it out of the toilet, and then I put it in the piss cup. But he just gets you right into the most vulnerable parts of his process, start to finish. And, even like with the Goth Rebel Soldier, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw that the head popped off, and I was like, oh no, like I really felt it. And he let you know that it stressed him out. And I was like, damn, dude, I felt bad for him about that. Obviously he's Kerflaw, so he pulled it together, but yeah, he involves you front to back in a really cool way.
Well, and that's what the room was talking about earlier. They were kind of talking about that whole mentality of gatekeeping. And just from what I've seen, man, that's few and far between. I mean, some people are a little bit more secretive about their process, but then you see someone like Kerfloss who is literally detailing every single step of the way. And then I think that adds to the piece. We were talking about that earlier too, man. Like what does that add to the piece as a buyer or a collector, dude? I mean, it's just another dope little piece that you don't really pay for. But you know, just adds a little something else to it.
Yeah, it's something I taught, you know, when I first started Plagued Earth Productions, one aspect of it that I was really excited about was that this was going to be my first project in life where I remove my self-image and I remove Drew, and I want the ambiance to be Plagued Earth. And I've always like really appreciated how you appreciate the ambiance of Plagued Earth. Like when I did the custom war pig for you, you're just like, make it scream Plagued Earth. And I was like, awesome, milestone hit. He wants me to make it all Plague Earthy, not like Drew, not the way, you know, it's like I was in a band that did fairly relatively well when I was like 16. I was in a band with all these dudes that were in their 20s and we went on tour, and it felt like, you know, people are looking at me and I had to have this self-image. And I had my bosses at one point, they're joking. It's like, I'm, you know, not to like toot my own horn, but I've been piercing for 13 years. I work in a really high volume setting. It's like I pierce, you know, 30 to 80 to 100 people a day sometimes in an 11-hour period. I'm good at it. But my bosses are always like, yeah, we keep you around because you're good looking dude. And they're fucking around. But it was nice to start a project where I remove myself and it's my work that you like, and it's the energy I create around that you enjoy. But then I kind of fought with myself about that when I started making those videos, because I realized in this scene, just the way people appreciate Eddie's pieces because of who Eddie is and his history and his style and the things he's into, people like to have a connection to who they're buying a toy from, as do I. I think it's really cool, and I'd love to own one of those Goth Rebel soldiers just because you're so involved. It's like you're there in the making, and you know whose hands made that, and it's a special thing that I didn't consider at all when I first started making toys.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely, it's so much more than the piece. Dude, let's plug this show one more time, man. When does it start? What day we starting on?
So we start the show December 19th, and that is going to be, I got to update that video a little bit. I forgot a couple dudes and I just got their logos that I got to throw in there, but yeah, it starts the 19th, which is the first day of Hanukkah. It's going to span through the 26th, which will be the last day of Hanukkah, and the lineup is nuts and it's very diverse, and there's going to be a ton of cool shit in there. I could well, most of, yeah, you got everybody on there. I think I got to throw a couple more names, but that's the gist of it. But yeah, basically the show's just going to be, you know, every night certain artists will showcase a toy that they consider to be super fucking metal. And I didn't put a lot of restraints on like what that is. I had a couple inquiries of like, is death metal cool? And honestly, in my mind, if you think it's metal, if it's metal to you, you could even riff off of the word metal and make a Godzilla and paint it chrome as if it's metal. Just roll with whatever you want to roll with. So it's going to be pretty diverse.
Dope. And then how are sales gonna go, or is that just completely up to the artist? The artist puts it on their page, or is it going on your page? How is that working?
Yeah, I left that pretty much up to the artists. I did mention I'm going to be selling toys. I'm going to be making a small run of what I'm making. I'm going to put it on my web store probably like the night that it's revealed. And I'm pretty much just leaving it up to all the other artists. And I'm pretty sure all of them are on board to sell what they're making from their own web stores. We are going to be doing this is exciting. We're going to be doing a giveaway, and I'm going to post something about the exact details. Pretty simple rules, just, you know, follow all the artists, like their stuff, share the Heavy Metal Hanukkah promo vid to your story, and you're entered in to win, you know, as of right now, 3 or 4 different artists have Heavy Metal Hanukkah toy. So there'll be a pretty good giveaway. I'm gonna double check with the whole lineup to see who else wants to be involved in that. But as of right now, and I won't reveal the names, but there's gonna be at least like 3 or 4 figures that you can win from the Heavy Metal Hanukkah show, and that will probably be called the last day of the show.
So how do you win it?
Well, I'm thinking, so thus far, you just got to follow all the artists in the show, like the post, maybe comment done that you've done that. You know, we verify that by checking to make sure everybody's being followed. I'm thinking, you know, share the Heavy Metal Hanukkah promo video to your story, and then you're just entered in, and basically from there I'll keep a log of all of the people who have completed those tasks. And normally when I do a raffle or giveaway, I'll do that spinny wheel of names, but I'd like to do it elimination style so everyone can bite their nails for like 5 minutes. And yeah, if you win, you win big on this one. You win a bunch of toys from a bunch of different artists from a pretty exclusive small run of what could be a one-off toy or a batch of 3 or 4 or 10, specifically geared towards Heavy Metal Hanukkah.
Dope. What a great show, man. Looking forward to it, dude. That's gonna be killer. Like I said, that lineup is fucking insane, dude. Congratulations on putting that together, man. That's gonna be killer.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be a good one. And it's I think like 5 days away, it's gonna start.
Almost. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think I might give you something to give away.
Yeah, if you're down, that would make it 4 or 5 people involved in the giveaway.
That being said, Pocket Salsa actually just chimed in on the chat there saying he was going to throw a couple Crybaby keychains into your giveaway as well.
I love those things. He sent me one of those, and at first I put it on my backpack, but I didn't want it to get dinged up, so I hung it up in my piercing room. It was super cool. Excuse me.
You talk about Pocket Salsa mailing stuff. Dude just mailed me a VCR.
Really?
A video cassette recorder. Yeah.
That's rad.
I know.
Yeah,
this is going out to him too, but it's gonna be he came through on that one.
It's part of my Pocket Salsa gift. That's just a portion of it. I didn't know what to do. I tried to make a display of it on my kitchen. I don't know if I did it as best as I could, but a lot of bones. We'll figure out something to do with it. I think my girlfriend, for her Kilo Flow line, is painting bones included in her purchases of bone jewelry and stuff like that. Right? I don't know. Well, she's painting some of the bones and they look cool. Yeah, he's a very nice dude. I'm a big fan of Pocket Salsa and the things that he's doing. And his piece is fucking killer thus far. I'm stoked on it.
Dope. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Hendra got something cool going on. I got a little sneak peek of something he's doing. Very excited about that as well. Honestly, the dudes in the show, I'm just like, my toy, I just whipped together and I just did it, you know, just to have a heavy metal toy. And some of these dudes are just absolutely crushing it with their pieces. I'm like very thoroughly impressed because, you know, I did the show on a whim. I was like Heavy Metal Hanukkah. And then I realized Hanukkah was like 3.5 weeks away. And I was like, I hope I'm not being a dick to impose this show on people with such little working time. And what these artists have done in the very short time allotted is really impressive.
That's dope. Crumbsy, you got anything else?
No, man, honestly, I'm pretty blown away. I'm pretty flabbergasted today. You guys are 2 very impressive individuals. You talk so intelligently, very informedly. You obviously know your shit. I don't know how to put it. It's a pleasure, man. Like powerhouses.
Yeah, you guys too. I love chopping it up with you guys. I always listen to the shows. It's fun to hear you guys talk. It's fun to hear you guys dive deep into stuff that like tickles my soft spot about toys that other people aren't really going to touch on. And if they do, very vaguely. Oh, speaking of which, Eddie was talking about the toy that that I saw on his story when he first started making toys. I was like, "You're making toys? Look, I have it right here." It's the Toxic Cosmic Cavus Crusher.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I'll always keep that in the case. I got some other toys from Ed too. I got the Exile from Earth. What else we got here?
That old Weed Wars toy.
Oh yeah, I got one up there. And then I got a creature you made up there. Where's the other one? I know. Oh yeah, here you go. Yeah, I was real excited about that box when it showed up. I thought it was so cool to have toys made by like my real life friend. Oh, here's something funny. I know you guys might be trying to cap it off, but
No, all good. Go ahead.
I put GiGi in timeout. I got some of her. I found some of her figures. I wanted to send you a double-headed booty shooter. This is one of hers, but she went in timeout, and all of a sudden she slips a note out from under her door, and that's it. Fuck Dad. So I opened her door, and I was like, "Who taught you how to do that?" And she was just like, she with confidence was like, I sounded it out. And it was like 7 p.m. And I was like, I guess good night. I guess you're in timeout for like the rest of the, like, it was hard because it was so funny to me, but it was such a trip at the same time. I was like, my sweet little girl is in a place in her life where in her head, she was like, you know what? Fuck Dad. And she wrote it. She'd never say anything like that to me, but she wrote it. But I framed it and I keep it on my desk. And she's like, Daddy, why do you have that? I was like, this is just your little lesson in learning that words, you know, they might leave your mouth, but they don't go away. People remember. But it's really more so that I absolutely love that I have an index card that says "fuck Dad" spelled wrong from my kid because she was mad.
That's awesome, dude. What a collector's item. Holy shit.
Very much so. One of my most prized GG possessions. I'm really proud of everything she's done with toys thus far, but that "fuck Dad" card, priceless.
You got to somehow make that a backer at some point, man, or a header card.
Oh yeah, we learned that it was written. She told us because I asked her, like, "What is it? What was it written in? You know, paint? Did you have paint in your room?" Because I keep her art desk in there. She said she had a lipstick, so that makes it even better. It's just such a little preteen girl thing to do, and she's so far away from being a preteen. But yeah, she did it. She hit me with it. I'll keep it forever. You know, that would actually be great to reproduce that and make that as a header card for one of her toys. That'd be good.
Oh, that'd be great.
There's another show. You guys have another show before Christmas, right?
Yes.
You have something planned for that?
Besides a lot of giveaways, we've got a lot of stuff to give away. But what you got in mind? You want to come back?
No, well, I'm just saying. Isn't it going to be right in the middle of the show? You know, like, you know, I mean.
Oh yeah, it will be. It'll be. Wait, are you guys going live Christmas or what day?
No,
We're
22nd.
gonna be on the 22nd,
next Thursday.
And at that point, we're gonna try and catch everything that's come out between the 18th to the 22nd, and then we'll probably try and catch everything we missed after the 22nd if they haven't posted yet, leading on to the next one.
Yeah, dude, that will be right as this. I think we'll be 3 days into the show, and I think that will mean anywhere from 9 to 12 artists. I'm bad with small math, but something like that will have presented their toys already. Yeah, dude, if you guys want to do any coverage on that, you're more than welcome. I'll be available.
Yeah, maybe we'll go live or something.
Yeah, we might have to chat with you guys throughout the week and plan that out a little bit better. We'll get our asses in gear.
That sounds good to me. That'd be cool.
Cool. Thanks, man, so much. I'm gonna hop off. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you guys, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Like honestly, I'm really happy we finally got Drew in here. And Resin Blood, honestly, you're a man of mystery. We weren't sure if you'd be here tonight or not. So it's an absolute pleasure. Man.
Thanks.
Do this.
Thanks, Ed. We'll be talking, buddy.
Yeah, see you.
Right on.
See you, Ed.
And Drew, man, I do have to kind of ask before we let you go real quick, like what else do you maybe have in the works right now? Because it seems like you do have a lot of logs in the fire. You do have the show coming up, but should we kind of be expecting to kind of come out of your workshop in 2023?
Good question. I have kind of thus far pretty specifically planned the end of 2022. 2022 ending and starting with a new baby that is probably going to be a lot of my focus for a little while. But to be honest with you, what I would project for in 2023 is something that I've been trying to bridge a gap between for a little while. I think what's going to be happening is a lot more vinyl and probably a lot more of my black metal themed kit bashes that I love doing them. I love making them. But one thing I've been considering lately for a while is, you know, like I had mentioned earlier, just about spreading myself out. It's like I make these weird sexually rage fueled vinyl figures and I make these black metal boot. It's like I have a handful of themes that I really like to stick to, and it's not because people love it and it's not because it sells the best, but it's because it's what I love. And I think, and I don't want to like give too much away on it, but one thing I would expect is a vinyl that very much so resembles some of my black metal kit bashes, but a complete original sculpt. I'm going to start, my vinyls are still going to be weird, crazy aliens that pretty much only make sense to me, but there's going to be a little bit of an evolution in the ways that some of them are coming about. Some possible articulation in the vinyl. Being that pouring resin will be a little more difficult to do in the coming, I would say 6 months, I project. I'm going to be utilizing a lot of time to work on vinyl. Honestly, I look at it as a great opportunity to just really get my nose to the grind when it comes to Sofubi. I think that's always been the goal for me, and it's starting to come into fruition. Somebody hit me up recently. I don't remember who it was, but they were like, dude, like people make like one vinyl a year most of the time, and you've done like 3 of them. And I just focused so heavily on it. And that's kind of what I have always wanted. I want to make more vinyl, and there's going to be a lot more vinyl. So thus far, more vinyl, possibly a little fusion of my black metal bootleg stuff in vinyl form, but just a lot bigger than like a 3.75.
I'm excited to see that, man. Like, honestly, I'm really excited to see that, and I'm excited to see some of the process shots of that, dude.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I got some stuff in the works. I got some sculpts that I've been working on. I've been taking a little more time to learn about what it looks like to not only 3D sculpt these like joints and stuff like that, but yeah, there's gonna be some cool stuff that I feel like is really gonna tie in a lot of what I love most about what I make. So I'm excited. I'm excited you guys are excited.
Hell yeah, man. That is exciting. And again, congrats on the kid. You're right. That is going to take a lot of your time. You've been through it before, but it's an interesting process, man. That's very exciting that's happening. Baby is due when?
January 20th, but I have this inclination that it's just going to be a little tiny bit sooner than that. I think my girl's ready to pop. But yeah, January 20th. I'm excited to know that my last Sofubi of the year is going to be here before the baby, so I can get to painting those up. But yeah, new baby. GiGi will have a little sister to hopefully guide and learn how to make really cool. And yeah, more vinyl, more kids, just more abundance.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe with any luck, in a couple of years, you'll still fuck you, Dad. A little poster. How about that one, huh?
Hopefully I get some kind of crazy note. Yeah, her name's gonna be River. She'll probably be sweet and nice too, but if she takes after GiGi, she's probably gonna teach her how to use semi-passive aggressive ways of telling me how she feels. And if they're in the form of index cards written with lipstick that say curse words, I'm gonna be secretly supportive of that. Outwardly disappointed, but secretly supportive.
Right. And I was going to say that's what she's there for, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be good stuff. 2023 is going to be a really exciting year. Decon. I'll be a decon in a big way in 2023.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. I really appreciate you guys having me on tonight. I'm so glad I didn't blow it, dude. I literally had my phone propped up with clients in my room, just like I got to keep it on.
Never stress about a Toyz Alive thing, man. We will always fucking try and make it work. If it doesn't work, well, we're fucking half-assing it as well. No, we're putting as much as we can in and usually fucking it up. So
it never comes off that way. You guys always hold it together. Even the episode where I was supposed to be there and I wasn't, I watched it just to see if you guys would be like sitting there looking at your watches like, oh, where is he? But you guys always make it look great. You organize it great. It sounds great. And I know I've said it before. I don't think I've said it publicly on a live stream, but I really appreciate what you guys do. What you guys do for this community is big, and it's very validating, and it's exciting. The questions that you ask and the answers that you get are really exciting. It's very fulfilling to sit there, especially on a Thursday night. It's something I look forward to watch what you guys have to say. And very surreal to even, when you guys are holding my toys in your hand. It's really cool. It's great when anybody loves your toy. But when I first started making them, sometimes, like when Boogers came out, he sold really well. But like half of the people were like just buying it for when you blow up. And as I guess as complimentary as one can take that, there's still part of me that's like, but do you like the toy? Or are you just getting it the way you would buy like a cause figure just because it's going to be worth something someday more than it is? So it's cool. And it really means a lot when you guys take the toy out and you pick it apart. And, even with the War Pig, you're like, the plug on it is so sick. And the Boogers recap, it means a lot to me. And what you guys do is very admirable. And I really appreciate it. And I know I'm not just speaking for myself when I say that.
It's 100% our pleasure, man. Thank you for saying that. It's very much appreciated.
Oh, yeah, totally. And yeah, man, if you guys want to do anything in the very near future as far as going live or anything, I'm out of work on Thursdays pretty much like within the hour that you guys begin, and the show will be on, and it's going to be rad. I do have a holiday party that's okay. I got a holiday party on the 19th, but we won't be doing it that day. But yeah, 22nd, I'll be around. No sweat or pressure otherwise, but I'm down to chat it up if you guys are available.
Right on, man. Thank you again, Drew. Appreciate it, man. Very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you enough, man. Thank you so much, dude.
Either. I'm sure I'll catch up with you soon. I'm gonna roll out.
For sure.
No, man. Thank you so much. Have a good night, dude.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. I don't know about you. Sensory overload. Also, Resin Blood held his own way better than you would imagine it, but he nailed it, right? He's not really a big technological person, so it's kind of like her Toyz, where like that's all it is. Dude, fucking vibe, no problem. Killed it.
No problem.
No way.
Man, I feel like my eyes walk to like Nebraska and back, and then back again. They did a lot of talking. I've caught myself on the phone sometimes when I'm in the middle of like talking with somebody, and I'm very involved in the conversation. I'll find myself walking around the island in my kitchen. I don't know why that is.
Beautiful people, dude.
That was crazy, man.
Nothing against any of our other guests we've ever had, but that might have been some of my favorite guests we've had the pleasure of chatting with, man. Those 2 hours went by. We could have accidentally held you guys on for a whole other hour, I bet.
One thing, dude, how can you, like, after hearing both those guys, to say that this whole community or anything is some sort of fad that could be dying out or that people are not passionate about, how can you, after hearing from both those guys, how can you even fathom that being possible, dude? The energy that both those guys have towards the community, the stuff they have on tap, they're both very excited about future projects, and that sounds like they're going to start happening very soon. Dude, it's just encouraging to know that and those guys are considered vets, right? We're not even talking about the guys that just have a couple hundred followers that are going to be up and coming, but dude, it's exciting. I'm excited. They're excited, dude. You know what I mean?
It's overwhelming. We chat about it often, you and I, in the DMs. I think we say it probably like almost wrapping up every single night that we end up doing these on the Thursdays. It is absolutely surreal sometimes. There's not really a way that I can ever properly explain to you guys that as much as you think that we're doing something, it's completely a symbiotic relationship, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys in the chat that absolutely motivate us and inspire us. And we wouldn't have even started doing this if we weren't so motivated and inspired by you guys and the work that you guys put out into the scene, and the way that a lot of the vets treated us when we entered the scene, and the way that a lot of you artists and collectors and people have continued to keep that lovely energy going and treat us all the time with respect and dignity and kindness. So like literally, it's just a symbiotic thing, man. Very, 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 very grateful for it.
Very, very, man. Great energy from both those guys. It seems like they were both genuinely excited to be on the show and to get the news out there. That's what it's about, man. What's been going on, what's going on now, what you got going on in the near future, and round we go, man. Just let us report on it, dude. It's never ending content. Like, as long as they're producing content, we're producing content, you know?
I'm still trying to process half of what we just took in there, man. I'm probably gonna wake up in the morning and I'm just gonna start having all these random like, oh, and this and this and this and this, and I'm trying to process still. That was a lot. Those guys killed it.
Yeah, and it's Strafe said it right there. Pacing's natural. I agree, man. It's very funny when I have it lined up on my screen, right? I see Resin Blood first, and then myself, and then Drew, and then you. So you have very moving, still, very moving, still. It's just the contrast is different, but we're all talking about the same thing. But I know how it is, man. I'm the same way when I'm not sitting here and I'm talking. I do get a little pacey.
I dance a lot, dude. I boogie around the crib quite often. I don't want to forget about it, because one of the most important things, so we've been forgetting about the news lately, and that's all groovy. Sometimes that happens. But we have that phenomenal Zymat Co. Piece that I do not want to forget about, the Wheel of Death on.
It's been staring at me.
Anybody who's watching, chime in if you haven't talked yet. I have had a chance. I'm going to pull up the wheel in a second. Chime in if you want that big old chonker. Holy cow.
It's a beast, dude. I don't know. I should have a scale here. But it's heavy.
It looks massive, man. The way it sits in the mitt, it looks massive. We had a lot of people hop in today. I think we were at about 35 people entering onto the wheel at one point. So, and I might have missed some of you who don't chime in. So please, if you guys want that sick ass Zymat Co. Skilled One, I've got you in here. I think Skilled One was the last person that I saw hop into the chat. So anybody else, Stripe 7, you're there. And there was a few new names in there today. Pocket Salsa, I've got you in there, homie. Let me don't. Yep, right up near the top. One of the first ones, a cat. It looks massive. That's what she said. No, not to me.
Oh man.
All right, nobody's chiming in that they're missing, so we're gonna spin it.
Who it is, who it is, who it is.
Ah!
Nice. Now, is that the first time for them or second time?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think that's first time win, but I think the reason why it sticks out in your brain is because we were curious on their second visit in. Once we saw them a second time, we were like, hey, Northwest ACS, what up? What's your deal? Who are
Yeah.
you? But I believe that's their first win. Maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah. I can't remember, but that's a dope piece that they're gonna get. Holy smokes.
Casey O'Keefe, man, I'm really, really sorry that I missed you on that spin, by the way, dude. I'm sorry.
O'Keefe, what's up, dog?
I didn't see him slide in.
I did not see him either. But yeah, that's a great piece, man. The Zimico is so if you didn't win anything this week, next week we have a lot of stuff right now. I believe we're at a dozen giveaways and counting for next week. A dozen individual giveaways. And you know what I think we do next week, dude? I think when somebody wins, we take them off the wheel. That way,
That's
yeah,
fair.
we'll have enough. We'll have enough stuff, but we got a lot of stuff. A lot of people are sending in stuff. One thing I haven't showed you yet, because I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, you'll have to help me out with that. But yeah, people are donating, man, and it's very cool. It's all going out next week, which is going to be a good show, and that's going to be one right before the big show at the end of the year, which will be in 2 weeks on the 29th.
Northwest ACS says they've never won anything. So there you go, man.
There you go.
Their first fucking giveaway win.
Yeah, shoot us the address, please. This will be going out in the mail tomorrow. I have tomorrow.
Oh.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going out tomorrow.
Jeez, look at you, man.
Which is cool.
On a mission.
Yeah, dude, great show. Thank you, DT O'Keefe. Dude, like you said, man, like, you know, we're an hour into the show and we start chatting with Resin Blood. It's crazy, man. Legend.
It's real life.
Yeah, dude, and good timing on the show. You know, I think we talked before about how dude, I had stuff to open tonight. You want me to open something real quick?
Open something real quick.
Okay. This is from Dark Maiden. Oh, well, there you go. Street Fight. All right. Now, were some people saying that they were having problems accessing this store today? I did not buy these from the store.
It wasn't the store. We couldn't pull up the IG. But the store seems active. So I did share the link for that in there, and I'll probably drop into the description first thing in the morning after we post here. I'm just creeping.
Yeah, so I got these from Tyler at Dark Maiden Toys, but they were straight up. I think I DM'd them for these. They weren't in the store. They're 5.5 scale. You know what? That's not true, man. They're smaller than 5.5 scale. They're like the it's like that wrestler series, that size, but this one looks like it's got a 5.5 head on it and a different scale body. But this is the one that I went for originally. These were cheap, man. These were like $10. And then this one's got an interesting pour on it, the red and the white with the Man-at-Arms head, but kind of done up like Sting wrestling, or the Sting wrestler. It's peg articulation, it looks like. They do move, they do come off, just in the arms and in the head. But these are good work, man. I mean, I don't know exactly how the process is. But he's a kid, correct?
Yeah, I think he's he's a young adult. He's 12,
Yeah.
13, 12, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very talented.
These are sick though, man. It looks like there's definitely paint on the face and on the helmet. And then the pour on there is just like a red and a white. Sick. This one's got some cool paintwork on the face. And then just all silver on the bodies. Nice.
Talent, man. Yeah, Nim Studio. I noticed that's two right on the left there. Beat it
Mm.
the Agent Jupiter. Good catch.
It is, man. And I'm working on a cool spread with that. Now, I don't know if you know, my Agent Jupiter is it's a true 1 of 1 because it's got a cape that glows. And so I have a little scene going that's trying to highlight that cape. Anyways, that'll be cool. Yeah, Agent Jupiter, there we go. Let's do another one real quick. The other one that I showed from Last Resort, I showed the Muckoid and then the Fragacuda. Those are going to Eddie to get painted up. Those are still available. The blanks are, but check those out. Those are, like I said, they're still available. But that story is really weird, man, because I hit Eddie up just randomly and said, hey, he goes, oh, that's weird. I just got off the phone with that dude. And I'm like, all right, well, this was meant to be. Like, who knows? I didn't even know those guys knew each other. And he's like, yeah, I was just talking to him. Anyways.
Small world, man, this toy scene.
Yeah, small world, not so small world, which is crazy. This is from Drock.
We know a drop box is always going to be nice, man.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is, so this is one of his Christmas drops. And I see he's kind of carried out the whole Christmas snow vibe on the box. This is not a white box. This is all paint. Which, if you've ever got a box from Drock, you know how he do. Oh, and some directions on the back. What a guy. Little freebies from Drock, as always. Oh, these are cool, man. Oh, this one's, I've never seen this one. It's like a little Buddha guy, but it's got a muscle man head on it. A little freebie dude. So this was the drop that he did just recently. This was probably one of the first Christmas drops that I saw. Yeah, so good. Yeah, icy. No, I think there was maybe 2, 3, 4 of these. So I want to say 4, and all of them were like a little bit of a different shade. This was the lightest of them all. But it's still dope. Now this is the pickaxe. This is what you and I were both looking at. When this one dropped, we were looking at the pickaxe thinking that one was a little bit unique, which it is. And that's what caught my eye on the original post. So, man, he was right on with his directions too. He said kind of slide the pickaxe in and then twist. But yeah, dude, very nice. 4 points magnetic on that. Those sold out, pretty sure, right away. He did a Christmas, yeah, where there was a few different figures on there. I don't think all those figures sold out. I know that he did a post on them recently, so check those out. They might still be in his shop. Drock Toy and Novelty. We've talked about that store numerous times. I would almost guarantee that you'll find something in there that you like, just because the variety is crazy good and it's stocked all the time. Drock, very, very good dude. That'll go right next to the Candy Crusher, which is the same orange, right? That was it, man.
Good stuff. Look at us. And under 4 hours.
Have you ever heard someone say they like how long the show is? I don't think I've ever heard that.
I knew that for a lot of folks, they do just kind of throw it on while they're casting, and I knew that some casting sessions can last 12 hours, man.
True. And I like the fact that Eddie was, kind of, I think when he sat down and started working there towards the end, when Drew got on, I think that was a very good picture of how most of our audience watches this show. I'd be blown away if someone sits down with a bowl of popcorn on YouTube and just sits down and just stares at our stupid faces for 3.5 hours. You know what I mean?
Usually when I click on our playlist and just let it run, I'm usually grabbing the lube, not the popcorn, but it depends on the mood.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at, I was just looking at this thing and I'm like, fuck, I missed that. Drock, what's up, man? 5 points of articulation. The head moves too. You are correct. It does. Eddie stays up late. Yes, he does. And DT O'Keefe, that's right. He got a Frosty Swampy too. Oh, that Frosty Swampy. Do you remember that? That was dope, you dog, DT O'Keefe. That was the first thing to go on that claim sale. That thing went like right away. What a grab. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
No?
You're
All right. I thought I cut you off there.
I'm so zonked. I'm so sorry, dudes.
No, all good, man. So yeah, let's wrap it up. What do you got on your plate, man? What's in Crumbsy's world the next week? You snowed in?
I have no idea, man. Looks like the weather's thing stopped. Rain, snow tomorrow, so I guess we'll see what the fuck that does to all the snow that fell. Otherwise, we gotta start squeezing in those fucking news at the beginning, dude. We were snoozing tonight at the beginning. That first hour, we could have put the news in. We were snoozing.
We could have. We decided to talk about weather instead. The news is important. I'm glad everybody. I mean, one thing that you notice, dude, is when you see people do likes and stuff. I think the majority of people that are in these rooms are kind of seeing the same stuff that we're seeing. I think we do bring a lot of new accounts to light and stuff like that. But the good thing is that by the time that, and we've talked about it before, dude, where sometimes they're talking in the room or seeing people post stuff like, who the fuck is that? And we're learning from them just as much as they're learning from us.
I love learning.
Yeah, about that, but anyways, man, hell of a show. And another good one next week.
Dude, when you mentioned that you've got 12 giveaways coming up for next week, my mind was blown. I knew it was a pile. I didn't know that was the pile.
So far. There's others on the way that people have told me are coming. So it's going to be more. It's going to be fun. That'll be a really fun show.
And the Hanukkah catch up, dude, it's going to be all over.
That's right. Yeah, we'll be right in the middle of the Hanukkah show. That's right. That'll be fun.
More than fun.
More than fun.
Yo, man, it's always a pleasure. Let's wrap it up. Let's let these yahoos go home. I'm gonna fucking go to sleep. It's
always
been a fucking blast, man. As always.
As always, man. What a great show, dude. That fucking felt really good.
I think Plagued Earth is too generous in their words. That was probably the most. The fuck.
We do what we can. We just work here. We're employees. We just work here, man. We report the news.
The grunts.
That's it.
I love it, man. Try and have a good night, dude. And the rest of you guys
You too, buddy.
next week if we don't catch you sometime on the weekend.
Yep,
Who knows
for
what
sure.
happens sometimes.